see an enemy team, you're like, oh fuck, and you just take off, and then you're like, it's like that moment in Heat. You're like covering each other's backs. Oh, okay, go. Okay, I'll.
Yo, Mr. Cooper.
Yo, what up?
How we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good,
Wonderful.
mate. Episode 3. Here we are.
Yeah,
Look, I even
we're
got
back.
a little title thing. Look how official.
Nice. Let me see. Oh, it's awesome.
We got
State
this.
of play. Ooh.
We got the Spotify money. They paid us £1 million up front.
Yeah. You got it.
Oh, my camera's not on. Oh, it's a disaster.
Oh, idiot.
It was going so well.
Oh, it's just me.
Fuck, it's just you today. Okay.
Ah, damn it.
I mean,
Idiot.
it could have been worse. I could have been like
Falling apart.
naked.
That's true.
Yo,
Butthole out, giving us the brown eye. There he is.
here I am.
Yo. I like this. Yeah, I do like this new setup. It's
Yeah, it
very
looks
nice.
and
Very
I can,
clean.
when we do like, well, you'll see soon, but when I show
Sure.
gameplay, I can just move us up. And I'm going to try and automate all that. So when we do show things, it just automatically, as soon as I press the button to share, it like pushes us up. So it'll look a lot cleaner. But
Awesome.
I think this looks better than the last time because there was a lot of dead space on the stream now. I think there's a bit of, there's not as much dead space. There's still a little bit of dead space, but we'll figure that out. When we get sponsored by like Slim Jims, McDonald's, Greg's, it's fine. We'll cover we'll cover all the areas with sponsors. It's fine.
Yeah, the money's coming. It's coming, boys.
It's coming. I can smell it.
Yep.
I should probably. That's another thing. I'm just gonna talk out loud here. I was thinking, do I make like an email address for like, not for like inquiries for sponsors, but maybe if we do like question segments.
People could email us. Yeah, that's cool. A great idea.
And I would keep it anonymous because obviously, But yeah, it's probably going to get flooded by dick pics, let's be honest. And people are going to sign us up for fucking all sorts. So
yeah, Lely knows.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is good.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for coming.
Hello.
Episode 3.
Hell yeah.
So we'll run down a little itinerary. That's the word I used last time, and I like it. I don't know if it's the right thing I'm using, but it sounds fancy.
It sounds fancy. Itinerary? Is it? Am I saying it right? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know. How do the British say it?
Itinerary.
Itinerary.
Okay.
Today, Junior.
This is what we're gonna do basically. So we're gonna talk about Resident Evil 9. Obviously, we both love Resident Evil. Give our thoughts on that. We're going to talk about Fletcher's favorite game in the world, not Resident Evil, Mind's Eye, and that he's the only person in the world that likes it, and why. Also, hello. That's Coop's daughter. We're also going to
Fletch, you might just want to tune out for that for about 10 to 20 minutes.
Yeah. We're probably just going to shit on it.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. Just a heads up.
And then we're going to talk about state of play, some of the games that showed up. Not all of it, because, again, I'm not massively interested in everything. I will try and go over more or less everything that was shown, and I'll try and show some things for it. And then the Xbox Showcase, which, again, had some cool things as well. I'd say it was just as good, arguably, as a state of play, but also was full of a load of shit as well. Just like state of play. But yeah, that's basically the rundown. If there is any more time, because I'm kind of trying to keep a track of time this time, then we've got a couple other things. I think Coops is going to speak about Dune, which is...
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
I was looking today, and a lot of people are saying it is like the first game of its kind. You know, like when Death Stranding came out, and they were saying... Kojima was like, it's a brand. I can't describe what it's like. It's a new genre. This kind of is what Dune's like, because I mean, we might as well talk about Dune to start with, to be honest, because you've played
if you want to, yeah.
But Dune is like a traditional survival, not so much where you have to. It's as managing as much as a survival game, but also like it has MMO elements with it as well.
Yes. Yep.
So I've not played any of it. I applied to get a code and I got left on read. so I
Oh
clearly
god
don't.
damn
I'm
it.
not big enough yet for it, but I like Dune. I've not seen the new films. I've seen the OG film, and it's kind of got the old. It's like because it's what inspired Star Wars, really. So I'm always gonna have an interest in it, and I've listened to 4 of the books.
Was it before Star Wars then? Did we
Yeah,
establish that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Well,
it was
George
kind of
Lucas was
some of
like,
it is what inspired Star Wars, and
does he
then
did he does he say that? Does Lucas
no,
actually say like, oh, I'm inspired by it?
I think I don't know if he directly says it, but you can just tell it's
It has to
inspired.
be.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
For sure. He's gotta be. Yeah.
and I even think that the original movie back in the 70s was it? I think it was early 70s. It was like a proper star-studded cast. They had like Patrick Stewart. They had
Yeah.
I can only think of Patrick Stewart. But there's if
The
you watch
main
that
guy
film, you'll see people
from Twin Peaks, right?
yeah, it's from Twin Peaks. That's it. The Twin
Yeah.
Peaks and
Kyle. Yeah.
Fallout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
there's a
Yep.
lot of Sting's in it. The fucking
Sting, yeah,
musician.
Sting's the bad guy. Yeah, the Fade Rotha or whatever. That's Sting.
So
yep.
when you look at the casting for that film, it's so star-studded. It's weird that they never went further from it. But if you watch the old film, it's kind of like from beginning to end, you could just have it as that. A bit like Star Wars: A New Hope. You don't really need another Star Wars. Like, imagine if they only ever. Well, I need more Star Wars. I always need more Star Wars. But
oh yeah, true.
Yeah, if back in the day George Lucas was like one and done, I think it would be like held as like and regarded as like a really good, like a bit like a cult classic sort of thing, like a great. But
I wonder how well it did. Maybe it didn't sell well.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it was
I have to look it up.
A bit long. It's like a 3-hour film, I think, so it's on the lengthy side, and it's a little bit confusing as well. Like there's so many characters, there's so much to it. So I think the new, I can't comment on the new films, but they look, from what I've seen, I've heard really good things, and they look really good. But
yeah, they're good. I enjoyed them. I kind of enjoyed them like the same way I enjoyed the Star Trek movies, where I didn't care about it back in the day. Star Trek, I was like, whatever, it looks kind of nerdy. It's too nerdy for me. But the movies, like the new ones that they're out, they're good. They kind of appeal to both audiences, I feel like. I mean, I'm sure there's the true, Star Trek nerd versions that are like, it's not enough, stupid. This is all Hollywooded up action, Chris Pine bullshit. But for the most part, like they were cool. I liked them. So they definitely were more mainstream. So that's kind of how I feel about Dune. I feel like it does skirt into that. It feels deep. You know what I mean? It does feel like unique. It's not just like mainstream action garbage. It is good. I did definitely enjoy it. It gives me vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do care about the lore, the characters. So no, the movies were good. I won't go into the movie, but yeah, definitely I recommend them. You like them. You'll definitely like them. So, but yeah, in terms of the game, I could never, when I first saw this game, like when they were first previewing it and showing it, I was like, I couldn't care less. I'm like, it looks kind of meh. It's a Dune game. Like, I don't care. Like, Dune is a cool universe, but like, if you're going to give me a Dune, then that's like akin to a God of War, like style of combat, cinematic, and you give me like a survival MMO Dune, like, and you can tell
when I first heard about it, I was like, really, this is what they're going to do with Dune? And it's like popping off in the cinema, like it was doing really well, and I was like,
this is the direction.
I don't know why they've gone for this, but now now it's a thing. I've always said I don't really understand why anyone would try an MMO, but I get this. Like, I'm really interested in this. I think it looks really cool.
Dude, and what changed my mind a little bit on it, I was starting to see more and more people play it, and it came out, and it was, it's doing well. And when games are doing well, it's like, okay, I tend to gravitate towards it a little bit. And in the back of my mind, I think I was looking for a game like this for a long time, something that I can like sink time into, but it's like a survival-y build craft kind of combat. It's kind of all in one. And I don't like building and survival typically. I'm like, I don't mind playing them if the combat's really good, the gameplay's good. I'll be the guy that goes out and like hunts, kills, goes for materials and brings them back. And you guys can build. Fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
So Dune was like, I don't know, man. Building the survival, I don't know. And I was just watching streamers play it. more and more, and I'm like, all right.
Mm.
I don't remember exactly. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it. It looks good enough. I'm
Yep.
definitely gonna get it. And so again, my first couple hours into it, I'm like, I don't know. Like parts of it are pretty, parts of it look good. Other parts of it look almost like a PS3 game. Like
Yeah.
they looks dated. I know it's Unreal Engine 5, so like the world and the environment looks awesome. Like Arrakis looks great.
Yeah.
And they do a good enough job with like it's like, well, it's just a sand planet. Like, what are they gonna do with it? But they do have different, interesting, unique areas to explore. And I'm so very early in the beginning. I haven't even gotten to like the much cooler shit.
Yeah.
Like I've found settlements and towns and stuff like that, but anyway, so my initial impression was like, I don't know. But then as I started, and a lot of people's were like that too. They're like, you got to give it a chance. Like, you give it a couple hours. If you're not in by then, you're gonna be done. Like, you're not gonna want to play this anymore.
Yeah.
You're done. So I did, and I found myself more and more like, okay, I'm like dying of thirst and shit. I'm like, this is kind of annoying. It's kind of obnoxious, and and the sunstroke's not too bad. You just got to stay in shaded areas. It's not too bad. That's not that obnoxious. But
it's what makes it unique, though. I know that V Rising is a similar sort of thing.
Yeah, because you're a vampire.
Yeah, you're a vampire, so it has that. I think that's kind of cool that they've got some. Because if they just went, okay, we're just going to put, you need food and water and another material. It's cool that they've got something that is like unique to Dune, sort of thing. Because I think that's cool.
Because the sun is supposed to be insanely hot or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's supposed. So, but again, it's not crazy. Like all what it does is like if it goes into the red, like your meter goes to the red, you drain water faster.
Oh right.
So and then you can go into the shade, and then it goes down really quick.
Down. Right. Okay.
So it's not that obnoxious, but it adds a layer of I just can't stand out in the sun like an idiot. Like I have to kind of like keep that in mind. So But the more and more I played it, the more satisfying it started to feel. Like, oh, okay, now I've got easier ways to collect water. Now I've crafted my still suit, so now I can hold water and drink when I'm low there. Like the more and more you played it, I'm like the combat, meh. The game, you take it for what it is. Like everything, but someone said it better, and this is how I was thinking of it. It's the sum of all the parts, all combined together. I'm hooked. Like I'm completely hooked. Like I was even telling you, like I was trying to do prep for the show yesterday and like trying to look into things, and I'm just in Arrakis, bro. I am just fucking absorbed into it. And I get like it's one of those games that kind of reminds me of like Remnant from the Ashes. I was watching people play it, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like I really don't get this. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is what. And then I started playing it. And then I was just like, okay, all right, I'm starting to get sold on this.
Some games are like that. Even Expedition was like that. I think if you're on the fence about a game like that, play it yourself, because it sounds cheesy saying it, but the combat, it doesn't even look that satisfying in Expedition. It just looks like, oh, well, you parried. But when you're actually playing it, it's like, oh, well, actually it was pretty cool. I've learned that I was getting my ass kicked for 10 minutes.
The satisfying feel of it.
Yeah. So I feel if it's a game like that, then if you already like the aesthetics of it, then you're probably gonna enjoy it if you play it. Like you said, you're not expecting fucking crazy gameplay in it, or crazy shooting mechanics, but I think the rest of the game kind of carries it through, and it's just cool to play a game that's set in like, because I don't think we've ever had really, the only other Dune games that I know of really are like what they call like RTS style games. So like Dune Spice Worlds, I think it was called, and
Dune Spice Wars.
I'm just not.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I'm not into that. Even though it's in the Dune world, it's cool, but like, I'd rather play something like this. Would I have preferred a single player story driven Dune game? Yeah. But this isn't. This has kind of got story to it.
Yes, it has a little bit of a story, which doesn't. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but yes, it does. It does.
And hopefully, if they carry on with it, maybe we'll get more story and stuff. So
true.
Hopefully, the devs decide to stick around with it. I don't see it being a game that's dead in a year's time. I think it'll have a core player base, and they'll keep doing things to bring people back, won't they?
Yep. So the more and more I kept playing it, right? Like I'll go back to kind of like why I'm playing it, why I'm hooked on it is, like I said, I really just started doing gameplay loop, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very intuitive. There's a game like and I don't know if you guys have played it. I really wanted to like Once Human,
yeah.
and I downloaded it, I played it, and it's just so confusing. It's not very. It's kind of like, remember like how you try to get back into Destiny 2.
Hmm.
It's not very user
Yeah,
friendly.
it's.
It doesn't do a good job of guiding the experience to where you just feel overwhelmed,
Mhm.
and that's how Once Human always felt to me, overwhelmed. Where
Yeah.
Dune has a very good like, this is what we want you to do, right? Craft this,
Mm.
make this, build this, and then you actually can pick up side missions and stuff like bounties and
Yeah.
contracts. So this game kind of has the best of
Of
everything,
everything.
of everything. It's got side missions, it's got bounties, it's got like little dungeon areas to explore, and the
Yeah,
whole loop of the. Go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say I've
No,
seen
no, no.
like dungeons and stuff. I watch a
Yeah,
lot of Sequisha, and he always
yeah.
jumps
I
on
was watching
games like
Sequisha
this.
too. Yep.
And he gets hooked. He's like he plays these games like 20 hours straight stream, and then he'll be off for 3 hours, and he'll be back for another 20. Like he just
That's
likes game.
crazy. Holy shit.
Like with hardcore with WoW Classic when the latest thing of that came out, he was doing hardcore WoW Classic. And he literally, there was more time he was on Twitch than he was off it in that month, which is mental.
Oh, that's
So I always
crazy,
like,
man. I don't
and
know how
he's
people
such
do
a
that.
chill vibe. Like he's not
He's
like
cool. I like him.
my stream
He's new to me.
can be a lot to people because it's got a lot of fucking sounds and stuff. His is just he might have a beep every now and
ADHD.
again for a sub, but like it's just chill vibes. There's a bit of music in the background. So yeah, I've been really enjoying watching it. I'm not mad into survival games, although I played Moria a couple of months ago with people, and I really like that. The best thing about Moria, for me, or a survival game, that would make or break it is if there's no sense of progression, because there's nothing better than in a game like that where, like you said, you got your suit, and now you can carry more water, and that means now you can explore further, or you can explore for longer,
Yep,
without having
you
to
got
fucking
it.
worry about going to bed and sleeping. So,
Yep.
yeah, I think as long as that's good and that keeps up, obviously you'll get to a point in Endgame where you have the best gear, and then you're just looking to max out whatever you've got or just hoard the best materials. That is where either you're going to be
That's a long
hooked
ways
by
away
then.
yet.
But yeah, I've heard that's like minimum of 100 hours of the game until you get to the point where you are going to be stable enough to go out, live and survive and harvest that sort of shit. Because
Deep Desert with the more like PvP content.
yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
where the game will like the hardcore players will proper love that. They'll be mad
Yeah.
into it. But
It's a little scuff right now. I'll get
Yeah.
into it. I'm obviously not to it yet, but I've watched a video on it, and I've watched Sequisha. Like I've seen other people play it.
Yeah.
It's just like ornithopters bombing each other and
Yeah.
crushing each other. That's
Which
all
is
it
a
is
bit-
right now. It's fun, and people love the ornithopters,
Yeah.
but it's like people want to actually like engage in ground PvP as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah, I think that's probably where they need to balance it. But that I suppose in Dune, that's kind of where that is anyway. So yeah, from what I'm impressed from what I've seen, and it looks really nice as well. Like I said, like you said, sorry, some of the textures. Oh, we got hit with an ad. Look at this, boys. This is definitely not a sponsor that I agree
that's
to.
right.
Although they
I
did
agree
build
with
my
them.
PC specialist, so we'll let them off.
Nice.
But yeah, some of the textures, I think the character faces for me are the ones that I'm like, ooh, it looks a bit weird. Like it looks a bit off.
Yes,
It doesn't look like a modern game with their faces.
No.
But I think with
No.
most games, it's the hardest thing to get is to be. That's one thing that big studios still get right. Like Mind's Eye's dog shit, but at least the characters look okay.
They look okay.
And
I agree.
their facial expressions kind of are all right. Whereas in this, he could have just been told you're dying. There's just no expression on him.
Yeah.
So.
No, there's no
I'm a bit
facial. No,
unimmersed,
didn't put the
and
money
he's not
into
even
that.
moving. He's just like this.
Yeah, they didn't put any money
Like,
into it.
Yeah, so
into that.
it feels a bit soulless,
No
but
effort.
as long as they put in their heart and clearly look at the surroundings, they look fucking crazy good. I can look past that. But
Yeah.
for the casual,
Yeah.
they'll look at this and go, "Oh God, this is terrible." But this is like 2% of the game or whatever.
Yes.
Like you're actually chatting like this. This is just an intro. But
if you're playing this for the story, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
it's not terrible, but it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're going to be disappointed. And here's the thing: I don't love Dune.
Yeah.
Like, Dune's good. I enjoy the movies. It's great. I enjoy it. It's cool, but I don't love it. I'm not like, oh God, I anything, books, games, whatever. No, like I couldn't care less about this game. Like unless it was that story driven, badass AAA. Like holy shit, I'd been interested. But once I found out it's like a building survival MMO
Yeah,
combat, it's like nah. I was like I didn't care.
it's
But until I started playing it and I
yeah.
started watching other people play it, and I was like, okay, I can see I got hooked.
Mm.
Like I can see I started sniffing the spice, and I
So
was like,
you got hooked on
fucking
spice.
yeah,
And next thing
addicted to
you're
the
on a
spice.
Arrakis. You're on a Arrakis
Suck.
getting seeing the worm that Coop's mum sees every weekend.
Yeah, sucking dick for spice. I'll suck your dick for that spice. Yeah,
But yeah, I think it looks really cool. I definitely want to pick it up at some point. Whether I can I would prefer to get a code because I'm trying to like not spend that much money at the minute. But
I don't know if
it's
I
one of
dropped
those for
50
me as
bucks
well.
on it.
Like, yeah, it's a lot of money for because I stream. It's not a game particularly that unless I was going to full send into it. I don't know how much I'd stream it. I'd maybe stream it weekends. So I don't really want to drop 50 quid on a game that I'm going to play twice a week at that. Whereas the thing with me, it has to be an incredible game, one to pull me off what I'm already playing, or it has to be something that I'm like, okay, I'm going to play that on release. I'll just stream it anyway. Whereas this lad, a game that I'm kind of interested in, but not interested in to the point of, I'd rather watch it. You know what I mean? If it boiled down to it. But I do think if I got it, we would have so much fun on it. We'd just fuck about.
Have a blast, man.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. Like, and kind of going back into just like the gameplay of it and why I'm continuously kind of hooked in. It's right. It does the progression very well, right? Where you're like, it just once you do one thing, the next thing pops right up. Oh, okay, now I'm gonna craft this. Now it wants me to go do this, and go kill these guys, and then in the world itself, like when you open the map, it's kind of got we're all tired of that Ubisoft, like here's a bunch of points of interest.
Yeah.
And Dune has that, but it has so much variety where that doesn't bother me. And like he's exploring right now, like a little camp. This might be like a little point of interest on the map. You go there, you may fight a couple of like bandits or scavengers or whatever, and then you loot, you get your loot and you go. There's like certain caves to explore and they're repeated. It's it's kind of repeatable. You've seen one, you've seen them all. But it just you get addicted to the loop of okay, I'm getting money, I'm getting gear, I'm getting materials. The mining is satisfying. It feels cool. Like you have your mining tool.
Yeah,
you scan the rock, and then like it has a little pattern, like a little line. You zzz, and then you get your material. It feels good. It's like it just feels satisfying. It's kind of cool. So all in all together, like
well, there you go. Perfectly timed. That was the mining.
Right.
He just did it.
There you go. So there's the mining. And the cool thing I didn't know was you don't have to follow that line. You can just blast the thing, but you won't get as many materials and it takes longer. It's like a cool gameplay mechanic. You know what I mean?
They start shit off Fortnite, let's face it.
Yeah.
Fortnite came up with that first.
Yeah, Fortnite. All
the
right,
greatest game ever.
Yeah, really, this is just Fortnite on the sand.
Yeah,
this is
pretty
just
much
Fortnite Dune style.
When can we boogie bomb in this?
Oh God, that makes me sad. Never go fuck yourself. Play Fortnite then. Get out of here. But so it's just all in all like. So then you go back and you build your base, and my base is scuffed. I just built it big enough to put the crap I need in it. And you go to your base, you like okay, you drop all your shit off, you organize whatever. What do I need to make next? You start crafting your materials. You store your blood because when you kill people, you take their blood in like a fucking. I don't know, whatever. It looks like a giant dart gun thing. You take it, and then you like carry the blood back to your base. Like, after you're done like exploring, let's say, or you're full on materials, and then you pump it into these machines, and it converts it into water. So you get there, you're just kind of doing all your little tasks, and and then you're prepping for your next. Okay, we're prepping for my next adventure. You know what I mean? Like going out into the sands, getting more shit, and it's a rinse and repeat. Some people are gonna be like, "Yeah, that's boring. I don't really care. It sounds boring." But for me, I'm just hooked on it, and the weapons are cool. The armor looks good. The combat itself. If I have to like rate it out of 10, it's like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
It's very mid, but it does get better as you go.
So with a game like that, especially, you don't really want it to be like parry and timing because it's just it's kind of that. It's not the main focus point of the game, is it? Like you want to make I think it needs to be simplified.
No, simple is fine, but I think at the same time, though, like I think they need to polish it better, and I think they need to look at games maybe like Batman or Assassin's Creed that they can kind of pull from, or even like Ghost of Tsushima. That's faster, more visceral, fluid combat. That's what it's lacking. That's what it really needs in terms of the melee. It just feels like there's not a lot of impact to it. It's not. I got a sword now, so if it's decent. And what I really do like about it is your shields, right?
Yeah.
So
cool.
like in the world of Dune, the shields are awesome. Like they will block pretty much everything, but the slow blade, like your slower attacks, they penetrate the shield. So you have to like do these heavier, slower attacks, and then the shield's like it makes a sound, and then you can like kill them through there. So it's kind of cool. You're doing light attacks to like kind of wear them down, and then you're mixing and maxing, and then you can also block and parry too. So, and it feels pretty quick and intuitive. The enemies are pretty dumb. It only becomes kind of a problem if you're starting to get outnumbered.
Yeah.
But like for example, where the combat starts to feel good is anytime you shoot, your shield goes down. So you have to be aware of that. But let's say you're reloading or just trying to heal, you can just stand there. And you're kind of tanking you feel like Terminator at times, where you're just like tanking bullets and you're just like reloading my gun. Oh, fuck this. And just take this guy out. Like it feels kind of cool at times. And then the sword, like fighting with the shields and having to manipulate and do that, like I can see the foundation of it, and it's really good. But I definitely feel like it needs a lot more polish. Like, and that's where I hope that they spend the bulk of their time at first,
like
tighten up the gameplay, polishing it, like listening to feedback, because I'm not the only one that's saying that. Like
it's
all
quite
the
a wide
reviews
thing. Yeah,
reviewers are saying it. So it's like, dude, and we all say you got something special here. You're making good money from it. It's got a good player base. Like, listen to the feedback, and you can make this 6 or 7, 9 or 10 out of 10 game. Like, it has the potential to be fucking fantastic. So, but because the experience and overall, it runs really well. Bugs here and there, sure, but nothing game breaking, nothing immersion, it's just gonna completely ruin you. The worm is fun. The worm is awesome. And he's not obnoxious, but he's dangerous. Like, he is dangerous enough to where you have to be aware. Like, if you're out in the sands traveling, he'll get your ass. But the cool thing is, it's not like to the point where, oh my god, he'll kill you every time, or the opposite, where you never see him. You know what I mean?
Kind of nice balance,
it's a good balance there for sure. And but yeah, overall, I'm really I'm enjoying the loop of going back to my base, dropping shit off, and then doing little side missions and clearing out areas. Like, I'm liking the checklist
like
stuff,
which is like the core stuff that I'm glad they got right. They just need
got it. Yeah,
the next big thing needs to be, like you said, to polish the rest, and I think they've got themselves a good
polish it.
Awesome.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, definitely, I'd say I recommend it, but not for $50. I agree. Once it's like 20 to 30.
Yeah, the minute it goes on sale for 30 quid, I'll pick it up there instant. If I've not already got it by then, I'll get it straight away.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, hell yeah.
Cool. There's Dune. Like I said, only Coops has played it. I have seen a lot of it though, and I watched Coops play some, and I've watched a lot of Sequisha. I don't really think anyone else has played it that I know, so I can only really go off what Coops says. But Coops generally dabbles in a bit of everything, especially games like that. So I generally think what you say for things like that does. I take a note of it because you know more than me.
I'm enjoying it. If you don't like survival Buildcraft games at all, you're not gonna like it. If you think that you love great combat, you're probably not gonna like it. But it's the sum of all of its parts. Like, if you've played like Enshrouded, if you've played, you know what I mean, Valheim, or you'll probably enjoy this. But for $50,
it's
like those games aren't $50.
Yeah, they come out in early access as well, whereas this, I think, is full
20 to 30.
Yeah. But I think because this is, I don't know what studio does this. I kind of have faith that they might do something. Like they'll actually at least keep up with it. It's not just gonna be one of them games that's in fucking early access for 28 years.
No,
and then all they do when they fully release it is they just drop it like a ton of bricks. Or they make a number 2, which it goes well with a game that we're going to talk about later on.
Funcom's the developer.
They
did Conan Exiles. So
Oh, yeah, of course
yeah,
it's them. Yeah, Conan was
yep.
again. I've not played Conan. My
I haven't
niece
either,
dad
but I've seen
has
people
played
play. I
it,
watched it.
and he loved it.
Oh,
He
really?
fucked with it.
Oh,
He
cool.
played it for
Oh, he'd probably like this. He'd probably like
yeah.
Dune.
Oh, he loves Dune as well. So yeah,
Oh, dude, he would
I
like
think for
it.
his birthday, he's only got a Series S, so it's probably going to run like absolute dog toffee. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
we're going to
drug
look at
shit
getting him a
on that.
Series X.
Nice.
I'm even contemplating getting rid of my Xbox, and I might just give him my Xbox and take
Oh,
his
really?
Series S.
Okay, damn.
Because now I've got a PC, I can run everything in Xbox. But yeah, that's me
Yeah,
just
that's
thinking out
true.
loud. That takes us on nicely though to what is the next topic, which is the new Resident Evil. Obviously, this is a bit
Oh
out of
yeah,
order.
baby.
With State of Play.
Oh
This
yeah,
this was
baby.
the now I didn't watch State of Play. I didn't watch it live. I skimmed through it after, and they came up, didn't they? And they said, "Look, Resi, we're happy to show you something, but it's not ready yet. We'll show in the future,
Yeah.
but there is in development."
Yeah.
And then the last
Yeah.
game, Resident Evil. Now,
Yeah, they jibaited us.
I like chat did well. No one spoiled it. People were just pogging in chat when I was streaming because I was streaming Village, not Village 7. So I'm really happy that no one came in and went, "Oh my god, you've just missed Resident Evil." Like I'd have been pissed if someone spoiled it. Some randomer came in and spoiled it, but I was playing Resident Evil. I didn't have it in the title. What can I expect?
You were streaming, and I almost wanted to come in and be like,
Yeah.
"Dude, Fluff, they've showed Resident Evil 9. What are you doing, man?" But I was like, you know what? I don't think he wants to know. I think he wants to just. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna let him live in bliss, in his, in ignorance. But I wanted to be like that dick that's like, bro, put on State of Play right now, man.
But yeah, I reacted to the trailer. I didn't really say much on stream because I like to watch, especially with games that I really love. I like to go back and like break it down and have a look at certain things. And when they initially said, I need my notes for this, and I don't have my notes up, so you're gonna see my notes momentarily. But so when they first showed it, they obviously say something about the name Ashcroft. Yeah, Ashcroft. I always think Ashford, and I thought
Ashcroft.
Ashford.
Ashford too,
So
yeah. Ashford.
I
Me
thought
too.
like, ooh, it's something Code Veronica, because it would to me make
Yep.
sense that maybe it is
I
a
did too.
family, a branch of a family of Code Veronica, which I would
from
argue
from a mainline Resident
yeah,
Evil.
it is. The thing is, some people don't class it as mainline, but I think if you like Resident Evil,
I think so.
it's 100% a mainline compared to.
We're talking about Code Veronica.
Yeah,
Just in
Code
case,
Veronica.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Code Veronica.
So Code Veronica, I would say if you're gonna do 1 to 8, then Code Veronica goes in between 4. Does it go between 4 and 5? Yeah, I'd play it between 4 and 5 because
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because yeah, Chris, you need to play it definitely before 5, and I would say you could play it after 3, I suppose, because it is kind of the old style. Because it'd be weird to go from 3, especially if you're going to play OG, go from 3 to 4, which is totally different combat, and it's not survival horror anymore, is it? The rather
funny,
go on.
No, I just had a funny thought. How many Chris's have there been in this series? And I know there's different. I'm talking about like the amount of character times they've changed the character model of him.
Yeah,
like there's got to be 5 or 6 different Chris's.
Yep.
Chris Redfield. There's the one Chris. He was not in 2. He's not in 3. He's not in 4. Then in 5. Then Code Veronica Chris.
And then 5.
And then Resident Evil 5
6.
Chris. And then 6 Chris. Well, 6 Chris was the same as 5, right? 6 was the same.
He's not a steroid as much, but I think
he's a little toned down, but
looks a lot believable than 5.
Yes.
And I think 5 is just,
5 he was holy shit, muscle daddy.
It looks ridiculous.
Oh man. I sit on his face though, but he does look ridiculous.
I'd sit on his face now.
No, but and then they have the village Chris, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
they have 9. What's the new Resident Evil? Not 9, I'm sorry. The 7. Was it 7? The one in the house with Ethan.
Oh yeah, he turns up at the end. Because first, when I first played that game,
Chris,
I played it release day, and I remember
oh my God, I shouldn't.
That at the end when he says I'm Redfield, he doesn't say I'm Chris Redfield. I was like, oh, it's Chris's son. It didn't occur to me that that's Chris Redfield, because Chris Redfield by that point he's in his mid-40s easily. Or early 40s. He just doesn't look 40. He looks in his late 20s.
Canon, or are you thinking that's what they're going to do?
I think that it's the Chris we know. They've just remodeled him again.
Yeah, I just okay, yeah,
But
because in 7 he's completely right.
yeah, 7 he looks different, and then in
And I like his
Village,
model.
he looks like he's aged a bit more though. But I
Yeah,
don't know how
Village,
many
I liked
more.
his new model. I like that Chris. I want to see that Chris. That
Yeah,
he was cool. I liked that model.
and he
So
probably
I got
a lot of
you
people
know,
would say that Leon is the main character. If you think of Resident Evil, you think of Leon, but I think of Chris. One, he's been in
true.
way more games, and two, he's way more central to all the big events that happen. So he pretty much he's apart from Raccoon City blowing up, he doesn't have anything to do with that, but his sister does. So he kind of brings him into that.
Yep.
And if it wasn't for him, his sister wouldn't be there, and then would a lot of things that happen in Resi 2 happen? You could theorize he is like
Chris
the
is a
main
one.
character of Resident Evil, if you argue. So I'm kind of
True.
glad that we're going with that. But I hope in this one that for one, I hope that we're not going to play as what's her name, Grace
Ashcroft,
Ashcroft. So
like as the main character.
as we were
Yeah.
saying before, so she is the daughter of Elisa Ashcroft, who is a character from Outbreak.
Oh, great.
And if you'd have told me like Ashcroft, I would have just thought, oh, it's a person from Code Veronica, and I'm a mad
Yeah, that's what I
Resident Evil
thought.
fan. Now, I think it's ballsy. It's nice that they're bringing in new characters. I'm always down for that. I think that's cool. But to go and make a character, we don't know how central this character is yet. But no, TTS is not on. Nothing is on. You won't be able to make a single sound, Fletch. If the fact that they're making a character and a potential big story point from a game that not a lot of Resident Evil fans have played, I think that's very ballsy of them. And I think if they're going to debate people, because we don't know who we're going to play as yet, there's a demo apparently where you play as Grace Ashford and you don't have a weapon. You just have like throwables, like a bottle or a brick. So it's more of a distraction sort of
favorite
things.
weapons. Those are my favorite weapons.
And
Bottles
for
and
me,
bricks.
in Resident Evil 4, when you played as Ashley, it was cool to have that. But if they're gonna have the whole gameplay be like Outlast, because that's kind of what they were inspired by, I would argue, for Resi 7.
True, that's true.
They saw how well because Outlast was a big game. Outlast, what's the other one? Amnesia. Those sort of horror games, like they fucking blow up and they just like birthed. Back. Yeah, they birthed like a big like genre almost of horror, and it's good, but it's not Resident Evil. And I don't mind sections of the game where we play as this vulnerable Grace, because look at her in the trailer. She's like,
Skibbity, you have your report, the TPS report on your desk by 3, sir.
Yeah, it's like
toilet.
If she's gonna get fucking airdropped into Raccoon City, right? We're gonna have to play as her, and to me, I'm not gonna be invested if by fucking 2 hours of her being there, she's like, "Let's go, Leon," and like she rescued. Like it'd be cool to have a moment of the game where maybe she does save Leon or whoever you're gonna. I'm guessing it's gonna be Leon, but yeah, I hope she's a side character. I hope we have multiple characters. I hope the game starts where...
That's what we were saying, Keanu. Yeah, that's what we were saying. We think it's going to be multiple characters.
To me, it makes sense for it to be Chris more than Leon, and I'll tell you why. Because Leon, we all know Raccoon City from playing as Leon in Resi 2. But what you got to remember, if we're going to get real nerdy about this, is that Leon only was in Raccoon City for a day. Or a day, because he literally drives into Raccoon City on his first day, and it's blown up by the end of the first day. Well, the same night. It's not even a day, is it? So, whereas Chris lived in Raccoon City, he was a police officer. Well, he was a STARS officer. I'm guessing he was police before that. So,
yeah, probably.
He knew that city like the back of his hand. So, if you're going to call someone and go, we need someone to take this girl in who can't defend herself, is not, gun trained or whatever. Let's take Leon. Leon doesn't know how to shit. He knows his way around the fucking police station from when he was there once. You know what I mean? So
like Chris.
Yeah, whereas Chris will be like, okay, well, that's a bad place to take. Not that there's going to be anything there. Let's face it.
True.
But yeah, like he would know the city a lot better. So I think it would make a lot more sense for you to play as Chris. I do think they are going to give Chris a break in this one, though, and maybe he makes a cameo at the end, comes and saves the day. I think that's probably what will happen to link them into others. But yeah, I just hope... My only worry is that I'm down for playing as new characters, but I think they tested it with Ethan and realized people didn't really give a shit about Ethan, and they tried to make him faceless, but then I don't get why you would make him faceless and then give him such an like just have it as him be a random guy that gets
He's
stuck in
saving
this,
his daughter.
yeah, and have him save his wife and fly away at the end and happily ever after. But then you're going to bring him back for another game and then make him like the central point of it. But then still we don't see his face. Why that matters? But yeah, it's like Keanu said. I liked Ethan. I thought he was all right, but he's just some dude, and it don't matter anymore because he's not even here. So it's like, well, okay, that was nice. He's gone though. So I think personally, I would have preferred it in like the best part of the games for Village for me was the start, and the part where you play as Chris, because you just feel like Chris has done this a million times. He's fought so many monsters and stuff. It was so cool.
Like that.
He goes in well equipped. Unlike, well, Ethan obviously didn't have the option of going in well equipped, but you just felt badass. You felt like, okay, well, Chris ain't dying. And he fights like the big guy with a fucking hammer on his own. And he fights like hordes of them off on his own. So I think it's cool, but also as well, it's kind of cool. It's better from a horror perspective if we're going to play as someone a bit more vulnerable. Because we've not seen Leon since fucking hell. Oh, Resident Evil 6. Does that even count anymore?
God, yeah, no shit.
So they're clearly gonna, if they're gonna remake 5, then they have to remake 6. You can't do one without the other.
You're thinking chronological, you know what I mean? But we just saw Leon with the remake. But I see what you're saying in terms of the Resident Evil
maybe
that's story.
What we need to think about is that they've kind of retold some people's stories, and Leon's very similar to how he is in the original RE4 in remake, but I would say he's a different character completely in his original game in RE2 to remake 2.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a bit more, not cockiness to him, but he just feels a bit more believable. And I enjoyed playing as him more, whereas in the first time you play as him on the PS2, he's just constantly going, Ada, wait, Claire, wait. It's like, oh, he's just such a cucklord in the original, isn't he? So
he definitely becomes more of like that badass stoic. Like, yeah, he's definitely like he's the Leon that we all kind of know and love, you know. But in 2, he was that rookie cop, you know.
Yeah, and I like
he goes through that transformation, you know, where he was more like capable but scared, you know, like freaked. I mean, I'm not saying you're allowed to be like, whereas in 4, yeah, he's still, you know, this is intense, but he's a lot more like stoic and capable and confident. So
I mean,
they did a good job.
They're not going to
the
do
original and the new.
Yeah. They're not going to do what they did
in
both. What's it called? Operation, the fucking newest movie.
Oh,
and he literally is just made out to be a joke. It's just a disgusting. That we'll talk about Resident Evil
Netflix?
one day. Oh yeah, no, not Netflix. The movie Welcome to Raccoon City. Have you seen it?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it, but I heard people just destroyed it. We should watch it.
We should watch it for sure, and then we need to finish the series because I watched the series on my own.
Oh, I forgot about the series.
We watched like 3 episodes
so
and we were
bad.
dying. Yeah, it doesn't get better either.
I forgot about all that. Oh my god, the Resident Evil show. It was fucking dog shit.
Yep.
The two little girls and they break into and they had that's right.
Like,
I forgot about
don't get me wrong,
that.
there's parts of it where I'm like, that's kind of clever, but they just took the Resident Evil name, tried to link it back, said it was canon as well. Oh fuck me. But that's a different podcast. We will do like a Resident Evil podcast probably around October.
Yeah, we should. That's a good idea.
But yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy, obviously, that we're doing a Resident Evil 9. Like Cappy said, I don't think fuck remakes altogether, but I think when they're done right, like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4, then if we're going to remake games like that, then I'm all for it. But if we're going to do what we did with Resident Evil 3, and we're going to do with other games that get remade and they're just pointless, like, for example, like Dead Space is a good example. That's a perfect example of taking a game that didn't really need to be remade. Let's face it, if you play the 360 version of Dead Space and the new one,
it was graphically, it still holds up pretty well.
It still holds up, but the new things they added to the remake and they made you reason to go back and explore was great. And there's certain rooms that you can't get into until later on. So good. Whereas in the original game, you had to wait till New Game Plus to get into certain rooms, and it was like, I
gonna
think the
play this
majority of people
again.
don't
Some people
play
will.
games like that again.
Yeah,
Some people do.
I
But,
did because I loved it, but no,
yeah,
yep.
same.
Some people don't.
But some people are like, I'm done now. I've finished it.
Yep.
You know.
You got
So
it.
I think when a remake's done like well, like a Yakuza Kiwami, if you played the original Yakuza to Yakuza Kiwami, it's like night and day. It's totally different. I think that's great, but too many now, they make a remaster and call it a remake, and I think that's just that is where people want shooting for that sort of shit because it's just lazy, and yeah, it's not a remake, is it?
Quick cash grab. People are gonna get hyped and excited for it, and then they realize, dude, I remember just a quick story back in the day when they remade Resident Evil on. Right,
oh
it was
yeah, the GameCube one,
amazing. Right, RE1 was awesome, but this was like the first time I remember, and I could be wrong, but in my young kid brain that they're remastering a game, they're remaking. It's a not remaster. I'm sorry, remaking. It's an all new game, and it was amazing. I went to my buddy's house.
Yep.
His dad had it. We all the lights are off. We had popcorn. We had drinks. It was an experience. And I remember the beginning cutscene was incredible.
Yeah.
It was all of course, the OG one with the live actors is awesome. Cheesy and campy, but it was great for its time. But this new one was definitely dark and scary, and the game was incredible.
Yep.
Right, it was so fucking good. It added Crimson Head. It did so much, for horror games and for Resident Evil. So everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we can't wait till they remake 2 and they remake 3, and it's gonna be awesome." And GameStop, or my buddy went to or maybe it was EB Games at the time. Resident Evil 2 on the GameCube.
Yeah, and they literally we thought it was going to be the same thing.
He was so excited. he gets it home. He's like, he looks on the back of it and he goes, "Huh." So some of these screenshots, they almost look like they're from the original Resident Evil 2 that came out on the PS1, but this is on GameCube now. This has got to be the remake. And he went home and got it. Hour or two into it before he finally he had to stop with the copium and realize that all they fucking did was took the one from PS1 and just kind of spit shined it.
Yep.
Just that's all they did. He was so disappointed. He was so fucking bummed, dude. But it was hilarious. It was like, oh, gotcha baited. It's like people were expecting, like, why would you were thinking they're going to do the same 3. So but that's why when the Resident Evil 2 came out, it was incredible. It was the game that we were like, okay, I can forgive them for that. This was the game that we're waiting for.
Yeah.
So,
no, definitely.
But yeah.
I also with Resident Evil 9, I like it that they're integrating. I know with 7 they just put 7 in the title, but with Village, obviously Village, they made part of the 8. And then with this,
the Roman numerals.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of cool. The title, fuck knows what he means, but I think that's cool. Requiem. It's better than just calling it Resident Evil 9. Resident Evil Requiem, I think that's cool. Also, I like it this time that they're not fucking scamming us and they're giving us the option to be first or third person. Although I do highly think that they need to put a message when you start the game for the first time. This game is intended to be played in this perspective for the best experience, because if you play Village in third person compared to first, it does force first person for certain cutscenes, but I think they will have made it with an idea of, okay, it's scariest and it's probably plays best in first person, which I'm guessing is going to be the way. So I hope they come up, because some people will just go, fuck first person, play it in third and be like, weren't scary at all. But then really the intended way that the devs wanted would have been
I think with this, and I kind of called it earlier, I bet with the new game, it's going to be person, because with Resident Evil Village, it started as first person, but then they eventually added in the third person mode. It was something they added later.
Yeah.
So they just brought the camera out and they had to add animation in third person and make it look, but you're right, it's good, they did a good job, but it's a little scuffed. It was more of an afterthought, where I think with Requiem, they went into it going, we want both the experiences to be good. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking. You might be right. They might say, hey, we prefer first, or whatever, for optimal, blah, blah. But I think I would
hope the dream
they
for
would
me
make it for both.
Is do both. So when you're playing as Leon, and it's a bit more, because it's going to be more. I don't see him going from the chaos of Village and 7 at times to then just dialing it straight back to traditional zombies and whatever. So I think the game will get to a point where it is a bit of a mixture of 7 and 8, where it's creepy, but there's a lot of enemies at once.
Yep.
And I hope my dream is that they make those sections third person, and you can switch to first if you really want. And then the creepy bits where maybe you play as Grace and you're sneaking about, force first person, because it's so much more scary when it's in your face.
True.
Obviously, you can do third person all the way through if you want, but I hope the game forces that, because that'd be much more effective way of doing it than just going, it's a toggle, you enable it or unenable it. I think put some thought into it at least, and the scary bits of the game, say, like, have it switch you automatically, and if you want to, no, I want to play in third person, you go and switch it back. Like, that's on you.
Yeah, I think that's what it'll be. Yeah, I think that's what it'll be. Yep. So, because you're right, a first-person game, horror game, is definitely going to be more scary. It's right in your face. So as a third, but there's great third-person horror games too, like Dead Space. Like that, to me, it's a good mix of horror and action.
But I think that's because it's very compact. Well, the console version,
and the sound design,
there's no like FOV. Whereas I think the problem with games now is everyone's fucking out of their mind with eyes like this, and they have to fucking play on 110 FOV. So don't let me like. I just have it on default for spooky games, because if I can see everything around me, that's not scary anymore. Whereas if I can just see what I could see in normal life, then it's a bit more spooky when something walks out at me or whatever. So for me personally, I'm just creeped out by being able to see less than being able to fucking see the entire room at once. But yeah, it looks, from what they've seen, obviously we've seen 2 seconds of it. It looks all right. It looks really good. Cool that we're going back to Raccoon City. There was rumors, weren't there, that they were going to do it open world, have an open world Resident Evil game. So I think we won't be in Raccoon City the entire game. I think the start will maybe be in Raccoon City when we're told this is your mission, and then we'll find something in Raccoon City that will make us go somewhere else. And that's where I think we could possibly change characters as well. So maybe, because Chris, the timeline's fucked, because at the end of 8, it's pretty much modern day. But then when you do the DLC, that's like 20 years in the future. So that's on like 2030 something or 2040 something. So my worry with that is if we ever get to that point, obviously when we get to 2040, then we'll know that we don't have flying cars and fucking, holographic images coming up all the time on our phones. But if that, I don't get scared if they're going to try and think of a futuristic world. So hopefully they don't go, right, we're going to switch over now and it's 20 years in the future. I don't care for that. I just want to know about now. So maybe if, I don't know, they find something in Raccoon City and then they go, we need to investigate if there's a, I don't know, branch for this thing in Europe. Or we've got someone in Europe. Let's call, let's call Chris. And then you switch to Chris and then you do his section of the game there.
That'd be great. That's a good idea.
I do think
they've done that.
Yeah.
They did it with 3. They've done it with Resident Evil 3. Like, yeah, it wasn't the best of the remakes. It was short and it was a disappointing in many regards. But I did like that you would switch to Carlos for part of the game. Like, I enjoyed playing as Carlos. He had the assault, he had the assault rifle. It was a little more action oriented. And obviously with with Chris, they give you those little more action. And I think you're right. They're going to do that more with this one.
The reason why I think they're going to do it with this one is because Code Veronica, that's literally the game. You start as Claire, and then you get to what you think is the end. You kill like what you think is the last boss. You kill it, and then a whole nother load of shit happens. Claire gets captured, and then you switch as Chris. So I think rather than do like an A and a B scenario, I'd rather they do, you play as 2 separate characters completely, but just split the game in half and have like a halfway point. Now you're going to play as Chris. And then, I thought that's why I think Code Veronica is so underrated, because there's no difficulty.
Code Veronica did it too.
It doesn't tell you, it doesn't warn you, this is the last time you're going to play as Claire for a good 8 hours. So I'll put everything in the box that you don't need. The first time I played it, I put everything on Claire, thinking we're going to fight this boss. I'm going to take all the handgun ammo. I'm going to take all the grenade launcher stuff.
Chris was left with his dick in his hands. I killed
it with the sniper that you get with like 5 shots.
Yeah.
Chris, you turn to Chris. He drops his bag, so he drops all his ammo. You have nothing. And I was like, oh, fuck. We're starting the game again now. And the place where Chris is has already been looted. So you can't even go, right, I'll go and check every room again. there's certain things you can get that Claire can't, but yeah, I thought
Well,
Code Veronica was great for that.
but Fluff, did you use the toxic rounds for Tyrant? Did you save those for Tyrant? The toxic
Mate,
arrows, whatever you're supposed to have. Did
some
you save them
guy,
for Tyrant?
whenever
Hey,
you
buddy, did you save them for Tyrant?
please don't use the explosive arrows. Save those for Tyrant. I fired them all into the wall. You don't tell me what to do, bitch. I'll take Tyrant down with a pistol now. Or a knife, even. They, like, every time you stream that game, someone will come in and fucking don't use the bow rounds, please. Hello.
What are you doing?
Don't use it. Please don't use it on a zombie. Fuck you. I'm going to use it on what I want, which is the wall, bitch. The wall looked to me weird.
So funny to be just fucking... is this Tyrant? The wall? Is the Tyrant here? What are you talking about? Just fucking loading it into the wall.
And it was like at the time when I did it, because it was the first time I played it, so I that's not the playthrough that's on my YouTube. It was before that, but I remember doing it, and someone like he was in chat, and he was like, "No, every round I fired, he was like, no, don't stop. Oh, you have to reload it now." I was like, "I want to do anything, mate." It's like I know what the Bowgas does. You don't like. Does it say first playthrough? No. So yeah,
yeah, right.
I hope my hopes are that they keep it spooky more than anything, because
yes, they have to.
8
for sure.
started spooky, but once you fought more than 5 enemies at once, you're not scared anymore.
It turns into an action game.
Yeah, it's an action game. So I hope for the first section we don't get more than 2 enemies at once, or make just the enemies that you fight fucking crazy, and it's like you have to fight, but you use everything. Or you're going to have to maybe use a bit of ammo just to get by them and run off. But yeah, I'm excited to see Raccoon City. I think the open world that they talked about, I think if we're going to open world explore freely anyway, it'll be Raccoon City. And it'll be nice to see, like, if you do play as Leon, I remember, God, this is the street that, like, I don't know, maybe he goes quiet and he just stares, and it's Kendo's gun shop, and he's like, fuck, just remembering an old friend. Or like when he goes to the police station, like he remembers Marvin. I think stuff like that will be like, that is where they need to really think about things, and that like little nods like that will make the game really good.
Yeah, that would.
And I would like to be able to free and walk about, because there'll be places that you will have seen in 3 remakes, so they can like reuse assets for it. So, you know, like where you explore with Jill in the 3rd one, it'd be nice to be able to just go down those same streets, all like war-torn or whatever. So hopefully it's going to be good. It's not out till February.
Right, they just got to avoid, and I think they'll do a good job. I've got faith in Capcom. I've got faith in the new, that they avoid the 6 thing, right? Where Resident Evil 6 was Leon, Chris, had all the different campaigns, and it sounded awesome, right? And theory was like, oh my god, they're gonna do it, but it became like a Michael Bay action film, and it kind of like Leon's little campaign, like the first how it started, he's like in the college or whatever.
Well, that's how they sold the game, innit? The demo was that. Yeah, everybody I know said this is going to be unbelievable, like co-op traditional zombies. Like it was kind of the gameplay's. I'll fight to the death.
Fun.
It's more fun than fucking Resident Evil 5. Stun Rod.
I know.
It's like Resident Evil 5 is so clunky compared to 6.
Yeah,
and 6 is still clunky, but at least you feel like you can actually move kind of semi-realistically.
Right.
But yeah, the way they debated us, and then they just made it an action game. Yeah. But yeah,
6 I felt like
I've always thought with Resident Evil, maybe what they do is like an Avengers style of thing, and we get a game on Chris, a game on Jill, a game on, or even like side games. I wouldn't even mind like they did with Revelations 2, make a game on Claire and Barry.
Yeah, and Revelations I thought were great.
Because what you're doing is we're just familiarizing people who haven't seen Barry. Because there'll be people out there that have never played Resident Evil 1, even the remake, because it's just fixed cameras and it puts them off. So I think just every now and again dropping these characters in, and then they all come together. Maybe not as like you play as everyone, but at least everyone is involved in some way.
For sure.
A big like finale of like, and as opposed to just going down one avenue with one character.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I'm guessing we'll get more, but I'm happy now if we don't see anything else until like maybe a last trailer. Because if they show too much, that's the danger with games
They're gonna show,
nowadays. You just see
they're gonna
you
show
see
gameplay.
the big boss, you see the big baddie. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see who the guy in the hood is before we actually play the game, just because
Yeah.
of how
Did you see
gaming is.
Did you see who they're thinking that is, or do you not even want?
Well, I've heard all sorts, but I tend to just zone it out because I hope it's not Wesker. It makes sense to be Wesker, right? And I heard a
You,
theory, right? I had a
oh
theory.
yeah.
Like I heard someone talk about it as well, but it also makes a lot of sense that maybe we've never seen in every Resident Evil. Maybe we've never seen Albert Wesker. We've just seen variations of
Yeah.
him. So like
Clones
we
of
got the
them
one
kids.
in one who was more like an intel side, and he knew a lot,
Yep.
and he was like the cleanup guy who would go in and clean up after mistakes. Then you've got the side that had superhuman and was mixed with
Yep.
or Ouroboros or whatever, who could
Yeah.
regenerate. And maybe the real Wesker is like an older
Is this
guy,
dude?
and
Yeah.
he's dying, and that's why he's looking for the T virus. He's looking to make a thing to cure him, and that's why
Okay.
he's like the mastermind behind it all. And maybe he's this old decrepit guy in a wheelchair, on life support, hoping
Yeah, I
that he
heard
can.
this theory.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That
that
sounds
would be
good.
cool.
That sounds kind of cool.
But again,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It feels a bit far fetched. I've heard other things, people saying, "Oh, it's Billy from Resident Evil Zero."
Oh,
Oh,
who cares then?
but
Who
like,
gives a shit?
but I thought there was always fan theories of Billy that he was Nemesis because he's close
Oh.
to Raccoon City near the nest, and maybe him
Hmm.
on his way back. Like he wouldn't, if you were him and you were in the middle of a forest, you're not going to go away from a town. You're going to try and go to a town to then get a transport to get away. So maybe he got to the town, they had eyes on him, or Wesker was like,
And
"There's
they
this
grabbed
guy,
him.
he knows we need to keep him quiet." They captured him, and then people say
Turned him into Nemesis.
that he gets turned into Nemesis. So
Okay.
and that makes sense kind of why he's hunting stars, because he's familiar with how they work. Like he worked with one in that game, with Rebecca. So
Yeah, with Rebecca, yeah.
that's a cool little thing, but I've not really I've zoned out the rest because God knows who it could be. If it is Ethan, then it's bollocks. I
That's
will
so
struggle.
stupid.
Like
No,
Ethan's
I don't.
gone.
No one
There's no way.
cares. He's gone. Yeah,
They're just
he's
trying to
gone.
find him, make him relevant. But yeah,
Ethan was just like, I think what happened with Ethan, he was an avatar for the character. That's all they really wanted, like the Gordon Freeman type character, where it's just you.
Yeah.
They didn't give him a voice. Well, he did talk, but they gave him very little dialogue, and just because he's your character.
That's what was scary though, because you find it hard to be scary as Chris. Well, in Resident Evil 1, because he's a rookie. Well, not a rookie, but this is the first time he's fighting zombies and hunters and whatever.
Yep.
So like, I know how to deal with them because I played the original, but he doesn't. And yeah, whereas in Resident Evil 6, Godzilla could climb out of somewhere, and I'd be like, it's Chris Redfield though. He's fought everything. Godzilla's just another thing to tick off his list.
Right.
So that's why I think it's clever I'm introducing new characters, but when way they've introduced this character, I am gonna find it hard for it to be believable if she starts using a minigun and doing all sorts. So
no, but I think like I said, you just got to find that perfect balance. Like if they're both playable, he is like, it's kind of like Leon to Ashley, right? He's the protector.
Because
she's kind of the scared.
They did Ashley perfect in the remake. In the old one, she's just whiny the entire game. In the remake, I was like, by the end of the game, I was like, I actually really like Ashley. Whereas in the original one, I did too. I was like, I hate her. I hope she falls off the jet ski at the end. It'd be hilarious. You're riding a jet ski and she just flies off, gets fucking taken out by a wave and like smashed into a million pieces.
She like foot over the Halo to my room later, and he's just like, he just fucking revs it, and she just flies off the back of it.
Chops her up in the fucking propeller.
Oh, we lost her, Mr. President. We lost her. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah,
sorry about that.
I'm excited. I am obviously I'll play anything Resident Evil, and I'd rather them do as continue now than remake another game. I think with the success of 4E4, what they also do with the remakes, which is, I agree and I don't agree. If you think about 7, they kind of did that to test with Mr. X, like with how Jack chases you and stuff. So I kind of like that they test things in the new games just to see when they're going to remake the old ones. They'll implement, like with 4, they did in Village, they did kind of like an open-ish sort of where you go and explore like you do in 4. So I do like that, and they've obviously put a merchant in and they tweaked it a little bit. So I thought the merchant was a lot better in 4 than Village, but in the same respect, I'm like, why do the new games have to be a tester bunny for the remakes? It should be the other way around. Like, you want to make your remakes so that they make people go, oh, I want to try the newer ones. And then they end up going to the new ones, and it's like playing a beta version of what they just beat.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying with that a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. I try not get overhyped for games, and I struggle with two franchises, and it's Final Fantasy and Yakuza. The minute I see anything for either of those, I'm like, I can't not be hyped because I know on the general consensus, I love like 90% of the games. So I'm not too worried about the character being part of a side franchise. In fact, I think that's a cool thing. But if you really want to full send on this, we need more than just a file from Alessa, because there's I think in 7, I think there's a file that's from her on a report. She's done like a news report or something, talking about like some sort of virus or an incident. What they need to do before 9 drops, if she is going to be an integral part, maybe she's not, and we're just using characters offspring just to keep it kind of in the same world and believable. Maybe just re-release Outbreak. Don't have to remaster it, remake it. Just remaster it and give it online, because I think from what I've played of Outbreak, I really enjoyed it, but I would never in a million years play them on my own because they look unplayable on your own.
No, so, they're definitely more fun to play with other people.
But I don't want, in the same respect as with Village, we got fucking RE-verse, and with 7, we got some other dog shit. Do not take any resources away from the game. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's gone. It's going to be gone, innit?
They shut it down because it's like, it was stupid to begin with. Like, what are you guys doing with
both
this?
games were dog shit. Like, I don't get why. Dog shit. And all they're doing is taking resources what could be put in to RE7 and 8, or RE4, I can't remember what games we're part of now, but and taking away from that and making a dog shit mode that's going to die in a month. So
true, and with RE4 they brought back Mercenaries. Mercenaries is great.
Yeah.
Mercenaries is awesome. Or bring back like the raid mode. Like if you want to have a horde mode and co-op and work with people, that's awesome. That's great. Pick little maps that are from the game and do a Mercenaries co-op mode. I'm all for that. If you want that multiplayer portion, but you're right, do not divert resources from the main game.
That's my main gripe with, I think Capcom are one of the devs that I like. For years they got like a bad name. I remember there was a Street Fighter. If Steve's in chat, he'll know more than I do because he's a Street Fighter guy, but there was like big outcry for like day 1 DLC with Street Fighter. Like, it was just bundled with microtransactions, and that's fine. I don't mind it for certain things, but like, we've not fucking booted a game up yet, and you're just trying to sell me shit. So Capcom got a bit of a bad rep with that, but I feel like since they've been remaking Resis, the only blip I'd say that they've had on the radar is Resi 3. And it wasn't a terrible game, but it's the only game that, like, you would argue, you would look at Resi 2 remake, Resi 1 remake, Resi 4 remake, and Resi 3 remake. I don't know why I did them out of order. And they're all all the remakes are an upgrade in some sort of way. Whether it be graphically, it gives you a better idea of the story, it gives you more story. But Resi 3, you feel like, actually, I've come out of playing Resident Evil 3 remake, and I know less than what I did than playing the original. So I think they've learned from that now, and they won't ever do that again, touch wood. Because I think if they do that again, especially with 5, if they just do 5 and go, oh, we're just going to do it as like, and not make it co-op. Like, the thing, if they're going to do remake 5, they have to make it co-op, because that was the best thing about RE5. But I don't think they're going to drop the ball. I think they've listened to the outlash about it, and I think that's probably why we've not heard a multiplayer game with this. But again, we've only had a name drop and a 3-minute trailer. They might go next one. Also coming with Requiem, Resident Evil Battle Royale. Drop straight into Raccoon City. Boogie Bomb on Nemesis. I don't 100% think they wouldn't do that.
Closing, guys.
But I really hope they don't. Like, I just really, if you're gonna put more money, put it into the game. Put it to do, I don't know, work on a DLC. I'd rather have a DLC that's paid and announce that on release than have any sort of multiplayer shit.
If you promised me though that okay, listen, the story is going to be there. Don't worry, but we're going to take the open world Raccoon City or open-ish world Raccoon City that we've built, and we are going to do a battle royale. You're right. My first reaction is to throw up in my mouth, right?
Yep.
It's just, oh God, please no. But they're like, now imagine like they put the time and effort into it. It's a battle royale. You land in Raccoon City. You have to escape, and they spawn zombies after you. Tyrant or Nemesis can come after you, and it's like an escape, the kind of how they did Umbrella Chronicles, but it was shit.
Yeah.
You know, but if they did a good job of it, if the gameplay felt good, if everything, you know, you and like 2 other people or whatever, you could play as Hunk, you have like different playable heroes you play as, I think it'd be fucking awesome. And like, let's say the circle is a fire, or the circles, they're just gonna drop
it as like the virus. Yeah, just have it as a horde. If I was gonna do something like that, I'd have a horde of zombies. A wall of zombies that just slowly walks in.
True, slowly walks in.
And then the way you could do it, right? See, we've already made a multiplayer game than they could come up with. In like, we didn't even pre-discuss this, by the way. This is literally what we just birthed this. So Capcom, if this is real, we're fucking taking percentage.
We're suing you if you do this. That's right.
So when you kill zombies, they just come in from the infinite wall of zombies that's around you. They just slowly trickle in from it. And then you could also do special things. So like a tyrant fucking pushes the zombies out of the way. He walks in, have lickers jump in. So they could do something like that. But if you ask me, would you rather have like a really replayable Resident Evil that has like a good story, but is replayable so it's good for speedrunning? Because you don't really tend to see the mod. It's only 2 and 3 that I've seen extensively speedrun. 8 was a bit too long to be speedrun. It takes too much attention. Like you have to watch a run for like an hour. I like watching like a 40-minute run for Resident Evil. I think it's just perfect. Yeah. So I'd rather them do like work on that than as get anything multiplayer. Like I don't. Not fussed.
I agree with you. I agree. But if, like I said, if they promise that, hey, your game's going to be great, we have a whole team for that. But this is like they did with Night Rain, right? This is kind of like we put a team off to the side to work on multiplayer. We listen to you about Root. We hear you, but so, you know, we're going to do it like in this style. And again, I know we're tired and sick and tired of battle royales, but if they did it like that, they put the time and effort into it, I think it'd be pretty cool. Like you're trying to get to a helicopter, then you got to fight. It's like Left 4 Dead, really. Yeah, you're fighting along the way. Like at certain points, you got to barricade buildings or houses and like survive a wave, and then okay, let's move on. Like, and then you got to loot, get your gear. You know that would be cool. You know, mix in elements, and then the dark zone where you're having other players you can run into.
Yeah, your microphone cut out in a little bit.
Am I good?
You're good. It might be just if you move your microphone, like maybe. I have it like a fist away. I like try and keep it at that.
Okay, gotcha.
Just move it a little bit. But yeah, it just cuts out like a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I agree. I'm not bothered for multiplayer in Resident Evil. Even Outbreak, I would take an Outbreak, but again, would I take Resident Evil 5 remake over Outbreak? Probably. Yeah. But that's because I'm not really that invested in Outbreak.
Me too.
And I think the majority of people are, because otherwise everyone would still play Outbreak. And I don't. Yeah. And I don't think everyone plays 5. But I think if you gave a poll and a choice, more people have played 5 and they know what to expect than Outbreak. And everyone who loves Outbreak is very passionate about it. But I don't know. It's a. That's the only thing for me is the character. Just to have it as a brand new character, maybe. They didn't have to link it to an already existing character's daughter. But maybe that's not even a focal point. They just did that to get people talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
But
I think they're definitely holding cards through the chest. You know what I mean? They have to reveal more characters and more. Yeah, I'm gonna see more. So, but boy,
Resident Evil 9. That's what we think. The next massive game of the year, potential game of the year.
Yeah, definitely potential game of the year.
And shout out, we're actually using Fletcher's gameplay. Hope you're okay.
Oh, are we? Nice.
Yeah, Fletcher's playthrough. I've just pulled up a random part. But Mind's eye. The GTA 6 killer is here.
That's right. Yep.
I'm going to be
It has
honest.
no chance.
So this was shown for the first time during a state of play. Couple of not this one. Obviously, it was already out. I think it was already out by then. But the one before, or maybe the one before that, it was shown this year. I'd never heard of the game until that point. From the initial gameplay, I was like, "This looks kind of cool. I could get into this." And then the thing that was alarming to me was, so day one of a big game, you go on Twitch or the day before a game comes out on Twitch. I follow a lot like Co Carnage, Dan's Game, a lot of these big streamers like Elijah, who plays like a lot of Dark Souls and stuff. They cover a lot of stuff. They get codes and they'll do a sponsored 2-hour stream on it or whatever. Elijah did one and he was playing it and he was like, "Oh, it's okay, it's just a bit boring." And then everybody else has got pulled pretty much. And I remember there's a clip of Co where he loads up and then he goes, "Oh, this has never happened before. The sponsored stream is cancelled by the devs." Yep. And it's because there was a sponsored stream. I don't know who it was. It might have been Lyric, who's another he's like one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, who's been around for the longest. He had to repair files because he was just getting a crash constantly, and it took 40 minutes to do it, and that was during the sponsored segment. So he can't be like, "This is fucking shit. What the fuck's going off? I'm having to repair files." So they had to pull his mid. It just doesn't look good. So it's not a good look for them. So they basically, I've not seen any more sponsored streams since then. So whether they're still working on, but I think the damage is done already. I think if they go back to Co now and go, "Right, we'd like to do the sponsored stream with you," he'll go, "I'm good. I'm playing other things now." Yeah. Professional. I think they'll all professionally go, "I'm not playing your piece of shit game. I've seen it. It's terrible."
I've seen it. I'll play it, but I want to be able to say what I say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that'd be the only thing.
Yeah. So the game is done by Rockstar devs. It's their first game.
Play the Rocket Boy.
But this, from what I've read, is to basically fund their game that they're wanting to do eventually, which is, Fletch will say what it's called. I think it's called Everything or Everybody. It's basically an open world multiplayer MMO shit. Something that there's a million of already. And that's basically, they made this everywhere. That's it. Sorry, Fletch. They made this game to basically fund the rest of that because they ran out of money. So it looks from and that's why I think they know what they've got. They know that they've got a nice looking game, and the character models look, like I said before, Dune character models look awful. Like they've no life to them. In this, it looks believable. It does look like you're watching like a Netflix show in the cutscenes. But then you get to the gameplay, and it's just the drone stuff and sneaking about. The gunplay looks really clunky. The AI looks terrible. The driving about, you can't... I understand, I'm not bothered that it's not free roam, and Fletch even said he played the whole game, and at the end of the game, you get free roam, but there's nothing to do. You just drive about, and yeah. It feels like, I don't mind it being like a Mafia style of game where it's a bit linear, and you go from mission to mission, chapters or whatever. But...
really is the most important part of the game. Okay, I can see that.
But then when they announced it, they didn't really say what the game was. They just showed gameplay, and when people went, "Yeah, but what is it? What would you define it as?" They went, "Oh, but look at it. It looks really nice. Look at this. Yep. Look at this pre-scripted event that happens."
And then all of a sudden, you started to hear GTA stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously they're ex Rockstar devs, so they're automatically going to get labeled
compared to GTA,
GTA and a GTA killer, and it's nothing like that. Even though I have my gripes, I think GTA 5 is arguably one of the worst modern GTAs from 3 onwards. 1 and 2, they were very different games compared to 3 onwards, but for me personally, 5...
I loved 5. I loved it, but yeah, I can see where... Yeah, I loved it,
and
but
I think they know with GTA... This is going off on a massive tangent here, but... They know that their money isn't in the game itself, it's in the online and the ongoing thing that they add to it, the microtransactions. So the game will sell really well. I think it'll break records when GTA 6 comes out. But the main money that they'll continue to get that will fund the next GTA and the next whatever Rockstar decide to do will be the ongoing online, because everyone's going to be buying short cards or whatever it is to juice up online. So yeah,
I don't think mine. Go ahead.
No, go on, carry on.
No, I'm not. I don't think Mind's Eye is like a scam game. Like I don't think it's like
definitely. It's not
a day before, right? Where it's like, or even with a day before, maybe like we want to make this great, cool zombie game. Blah, blah.
Oh, let's cut you out.
Keep the money. Whoop, cut it out my back.
Oh, yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay. I just think that with Mind's Eye, like when I was like, I'm the same thing with you. Seen it, and I was like, I'm not some sort of like I know everything about every game coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never heard about this game. What the hell's Mind's Eye? Like, I've never heard of it, never saw it. So that to me is a little red flag. But it could just be me, right? So, and then I'm like, I'm trying to find gameplay of it. I'm like, I can't really.
Yeah.
Kind of filed it in the back of my. It just was gone. It just and the thing is, it wasn't in the zeitgeist. It wasn't popular. It wasn't like. I'm not gonna try to say like a cyberpunk, but it wasn't like even a popular game of like for an indie.
Yeah.
So most games I kind of know like, oh Hades, oh Cyberpunk, like if you like I know a game coming out, Death Stranding 2 about it. I know it's coming out.
Yeah.
This I was like, what the hell is it? And then obviously next was reviews, and these YouTubers were playing it, and they're all kind of like, and partly through the gameplay, they had to enable invincibility to get through it,
which is just
so it's like okay, it's like that's never happened before. That's weird. I mean, it's a preview. Shit happens. Like you can let that shit slide. It's a red flag, but you can let shit like that. Okay, well, but I think everyone wanted to say it, and they're like, it just looks mid. It's very mid. And then I watched Moist play it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's what I watched.
Game,
I literally was up to like 4 or 5 a.m. watching Moist play.
Watching it play. And he loved it for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Terrible piece of shit, and he loves shitting on it. Yeah. He's like, do not buy this game. It's a complete piece of shit, but I'm having so much fun with it because of how bad it is. He broke it down. Each mission is like you're either flying a drone, you're getting into these very basic bare bones shooter mechanics. You have a little cover, pull out your gun, shoot, move on to the next thing. Like or you're doing like a chase mission, and you have to dialogue to end, and then you can finally get to the whoever you're chasing. Like it literally, So it's just, I think they thought, okay, we're gonna make a cool action game, and it fell apart.
Yeah.
Whether it was funding or the ideas, or because before it came out, I don't know when, but like 2 of the major like chief executive officers.
Oh yeah,
left.
That's another thing. Yeah, so
Mind's Eye.
One thing I do feel is that they've obviously they know what they've got, and they're at least going to try and fix it from what they've said. Now, whether it's in their interest money wise to do that with this other game that's apparently got like people are saying good things about this other game, whether they're still saying good things from this, but maybe they had to rush this and cut back on certain things, and that's why it is a bit shit. But it didn't help that they were trying to basically flog a dead horse, weren't they? So I'd feel bad for them in that way, but they clearly, their passion is in this other game, Everywhere, or whatever it's called. And we'll see what that's like. But overall consensus, just looks like a kind of a worse Watch Dogs. Like when Watch Dogs first dropped, I remember thinking the same thing. But the difference with that is I was fooled by it, and I bought Watch Dogs, and I regretted it. Because the game was at least this game looks identical to what they showed off.
True, I still say.
Whereas Watch Dogs had like
game.
It had what's called it got E3'd, and that happened quite a lot with games, didn't it? Like
hard.
Yeah, so
Dark
like
Souls
things
2.
in the
Dark
game.
Souls 2 did.
Yeah, Dark Souls was another one. So yeah.
Dude, not to go off on a tangent, but I remember seeing these games. This is the first time, like, I was debated like you were.
Yeah.
When I used to work for GameStop, when they did their managers conference, they showed us Dark Souls 2, and it looked incredible. I was like, holy crap! Like, it looked like Dark Souls 3 when it came out. Like, that's how well it looked. I was like, holy shit! And then it came out, and I was like, this looks noticeably different. Like, it looks like a downgrade. Like, what happened? And the same thing with Watch Dogs. They showed it at E3. Everyone was shit, this game looks awesome. And when the game came out, I still enjoyed it. And I still liked it, but yeah, it was a noticeable downgrade in terms of the graphics, the immersion, the way how things were happening, like with the way NPCs react to you. Felt more had the funding and budget, or it's Ubisoft, they should have, or the talent, I should say, of Rockstar, right? Like if Watch Dogs was done by Rockstar, it'd be 10 out of 10, right? It would
100%.
just be incredible. Where they tried their hand at it, and after I was like, yeah, I'm done. That was fine. So this is not that. Like Watch Dogs at least had felt like a fully fledged game, had multiple side content, multiple missions. The gunplay was good. You had melee. You have melee in mind. Like you just shooting. It's so bare. Every aspect of the game is very bare bones. Like
feels like
the graphics are good, and I feel like
as if
they
just
have foundation.
Let's add combat. Okay, well, what we're gonna do? Oh no, we're just adding combat. Okay, we'll add driving. Okay, can you go on steal? No, we're just adding driving. We're adding open world. Yeah, but you can't go wherever you want. Oh, we'll add missions. Yeah, but you have to do it within a certain time, or you just game over instantly. So I feel like they bare bonesed it just to, and you can tell they've done it just to save money because they didn't want to pump every penny they had into this because every penny they've got they want to push into this other game. Whereas it's understandable as indies that it's sad that they've had the state of the world that they've had to do this to fund the game that they are really passionate about, and then just go, well, what are we all really skilled in? Which is we've all come from Rockstar, which base in this sort of thing, like semi-open world, like this sort of gameplay. So let's just do that. Let's just do a bare bones. But I think if they'd have sold it as that, not to say it's sold well now, but it probably would have sold even worse than it has now if they market it as like what it is.
It's a stain on the studio then if that's the case. Like if they just kind of put this out there as like but we're really working on this project. Hopefully it's just going to give them a bad name. It's not going to bring them any more money or funding. Like you said, they had to they're offering last time they did that was for Cyberpunk. And as much as Cyberpunk had problems, that was still a AAA game. As many problems as it had, and it deserved to get shit on, and and it's still not quite the game it should be to this day, in my opinion. But that's another topic. Cast. But Mind's Eye, to me, it really is just kind of bare bones. They might have had a decent foundation, and then I think either funding or the leaving, something happened. They didn't have good leadership, and that article's coming, right? Whether it's Paul Tassi or whether it's somebody's coming out with that article of what happened with Mind's Eye. We're all gonna know. It's probably gonna be the same thing. Crunch, studio was overworked, didn't have the proper direction, proper talent. It's gonna be the same shit. So, and whereas the truth all kind of probably it's all in everything. You know what I mean? It probably is a little bit of everything. So.
No, I agree. Sorry, I'm dying. I need to put my aircon on. You might hear a bit of background sound, but I've tried to have it off. But that's Mind's Eye. Thank you, boys. I put Fletcher's chat in YouTube in the chat. Please go and sub. I didn't ask him if I could use, but I assume he would have said, "Yeah, you cool." Anything that Fletch plays, he does no commentary stuff. So I think it's cool that if he does upload something, I can just show it. Yeah, that was your footage, mate. You just got showcased to the millions and millions of people.
Right. That's right.
So thank you,
The money's
Fletch.
coming your way.
Next thing we'll talk about is state of play. We'll go through some things quicker than others. But state of play, obviously we've already spoke about Resident Evil. This is in no order, so if you've watched state of play and you're like, oh, I don't remember that being at that point. This is in the order that I basically researched it and looked into it. But I think the final thing that they showed in State of Play, other than Resident Evil, if I'm right, was the Marvel token fighting or Token fighting. I don't know if that's me dyslexia or that's what it's actually called. Now, if you're not sure what this is, I'm not really going to show gameplay for much of this. We'll just more talk about it. There's a couple that I will show gameplay for, but for now we'll just talk. It looks kind of, at first when they showed it, I thought it was Marvel versus Capcom, and that's what Capcom's announcement was going to be. But I don't know what studio's doing it. I think for when I spoke to Steve about it, it's an already established like fighting game studio. I don't know what game
Arc
they did.
System Works. Arc System Works in Marvel Games. Assemble for Tag Fighter, Marvel, Tokon, whatever. Fighting Souls. Okay,
but it looks cool.
gotcha.
The thing with
Yeah, that's good.
like a Marvel, that you've already got like a bazillion like Marvel Rivals. You got a bazillion characters. You've got like a base there to just go with. Okay, well on release we'll have. For a fighting game, it's tough. If they overbloat on release, it can be a bit overwhelming because you're not going to know that Spider-Man has this perfect counter to Venom, or I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there. I don't know if Spider-Man's in it, but
people are gonna like this. I am watching some gameplay.
If they only
Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah, but if they only go like 6 characters on release, then people are gonna go, well, fucking hell, it's Marvel. Why aren't they more? But yeah, it's like. That's why I thought it initially looked like Marvel vs. Capcom, because it is like tagging out.
It looks a lot
and
like
you can
it.
choose to have him as just as like a side dude that comes in every now and again, or you can completely tag him in and switch out. So I think it'll be really good. Again, I put in my notes that it's not my sort of thing. I'm not a beat 'em up sort of guy at all.
True. I'm not a big fighting game guy.
But
a lot of people will love this.
I'm not good at fighting games. I get far too frustrated. Dark Souls, I do the same thing over and over. I just loop, and then mold that I can't beat a boss.
You're the guy in Street Fighter that just the low kick the entire time, that like little sweep low kick.
Oh, Mortal Kombat, the best way to beat Mortal Kombat, right, in the earlier levels anyway, is you just hold back and kick, and you basically do like, you trip them up, and you constantly just get them stuck in a loop and kill them that way.
And they get up and they're just like,
later on, the AI will figure that out and fuck it.
Works. That's funny.
But that looks cool. I'm interested. When that comes out, I'll watch, I don't know if you ever watched him, Coops. He's called Avoid the Puddle.
Nope, never heard of him.
He has like a green webcam because his webcam's fucked and he's had it for years. But he's really good at fighting games. So he'll be sick to watch. And he's a really cool guy. He's a fun guy.
I appreciate watching like people that are good at fighting games, like pull off insane combos and shit.
Yeah, and seeing like close matches.
Like
for
that
me,
stuff's cool.
With fighting games, you get someone down to a bee's dick of health. In like Call of Duty, that's it. You know who's going to win. But in a fighting game, someone can get a bit too overconfident, and then 9 times out of 10, if someone's down to a little bit of health, they're probably going to end up winning because they'll be more focused. You can get like buffs and stuff that when you get to that low health, that you that you can do more damage, or you can do a move at that low. Like Mortal Kombat, I think they have like what's called a final blow or something. So yeah, I'm interested to see that. That looks okay. The next game that I'll save that. No, I'll just go in order because otherwise I'll forget about it. Is Silent Hill F. Now we spoke about it a bit before. I think a lot of people are kind of turned off by it. This is where it has the opposite effect with me with Silent Hill. With Silent Hill, with Resident Evil, we've always had guns and weaponry, and you've played as like established. Apart from Ethan, you've always been someone that can handle himself, whether you're a policeman, military, or whatever. But Silent Hill,
special forces guy,
you've always just been a dude, like a dad or a girl. So I like the idea of being defenseless, or being an innocent girl that's just got a stick. You know what I mean? So I think to me that is going to make the game more scary, because we're playing as this girl, and that's with Silent Hill 2 remake. One of my biggest praises for the game is that James felt like he was terrified. Every hit he's doing, he sounds like he's terrified, and he's like moaning, but not like in a ugh. It's like you can hear the fear in his voice when he's hitting things. Yeah. So that for me, I was like, although some people are going to think, oh, what's he doing, the pussy? But that I'm just more
put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, I'm like, oh fuck,
pants.
This guy's terrified that I'm playing as. Like, what if he just drops his weapon? Like, so that's cool. I think there'll be a lot more of that in this one. I'm glad that we're not just in Silent Hill as always. Somehow it's going to be linked, but it being in a brand new setting, so it's in Japan. I think that just to me is unfamiliar. I'm not familiar on their buildings and aesthetics as much as like an American or English town. So there'll be things that that'll happen that creep me out, but to a Japanese person, they'll just think, oh, that's on every house. I don't know why you're shitting yourself. And the enemies, from what they've shown, the fucking enemies look well creepy. Yeah,
they definitely did a good design with the enemies. It gives me very much like the Ring type vibes.
Yeah, So
grudge the contorted, twisted movement. Making the weird, creepy sound.
yeah,
No, they're the best at that.
that's for
They
me.
are
That's scary
creepy.
to me for
Yeah,
sure.
that is me too. The
Yeah,
contortion type shit. Ugh,
and
I love
it's
it. Creeps me
yeah,
out.
oh yeah, anything like that is just. Ugh, ugh. And it comes
Yeah, I
out
know.
around
Heebie-jeebies.
October as well, so it's the
Oh,
perfect time of year. If
nice.
you're going
Horror
to drop
month.
a horror game, you do it in it'll
Yeah.
be. I think that's probably what we'll start horror month with, to be
That's cool.
honest.
Awesome.
But yeah, the yokai aesthetic, that's the word I was looking for. And also, I'm kind of. Some people will be a bit. I don't think they'll be annoyed, but they'll be a bit like, ugh, with it being blooper again. But here's my take on it being blooper. So we know blooper haven't made the best games in the world, but I would say they almost redeemed themselves with Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, they do a good job.
They
do a
kept
good
the
job.
game
They're not
very true to
amazing, but
itself, whereas at the same time they had nods to the original, but they said, look, this was in the original, but we're doing it different this one. And I think they did that very well, whereas with a remake, if you just totally just go, we're not going to put in this section of the game, the clock tower from Resident Evil 3, but we're going to have Nemesis fucking climb up it when he's a dog. That's how we're putting it in. I think that.
Why did they make him a dog?
That is like borderline insulting, really, because people have been looking forward to that. Whereas if you don't give us that, but give us like a nice alternative, or you give us a nod to that at least, I think it's cool. And Blooper did that. The only thing letting Blooper down was that the performance on PC, and I played it recently on PS5, and I did notice some frame drops, but nowhere near as bad as PC.
I feel like their combat is very. It's okay,
but
like they don't have that polish that
it never has done, though, has it?
No, whereas games, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Silent Hill 2 back in the day too.
They've always been.
It's more the atmosphere that scares you, and
I
the enemy design. The combat was meh.
Yeah, if there was like parrying and dodging, I think you would lose a bit of the horror element. I know there's dodging in remake.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's very. You feel like you're playing as a guy that's probably it's the first time he's ever swung at something to kill it.
True.
So he's not gonna. It wouldn't make sense him being like.
No, but what I'm trying to say, look at like Joel and Last of Us. Look at something like that.
A bit more rugged and
polished. Rugged, immersive, better animations. You're right. I know. I don't expect him to be trained. No, I want him to have like those like oh god. No, I like when they're and then Dead Space originally when he's grunting, he's fighting,
when he's like stamping on things.
Because you'd be exhausted. You're and like I like. Don't get me wrong. He doesn't need to be like Jet Li like. Like just like martial arts in them and shit, but no, and again, like I said,
in
like
this
Last
one we will
of Us.
get that though because we are in Japan.
Yeah,
maybe she's a black belt.
True. Yeah, she could be, but yeah, a black belt.
He'll just you'll see the first enemy, and then all of a sudden,
racist
Devil May Cry music will start, and she'll pull her fucking
katana. Yeah,
do like 5,000 cuts, and then. But walk past, put a katana away, and then the zombie monster will just fall into pieces.
Splits into pieces. No, call us for that idea too. Capcom. Whoever's doing Bloober. We got you. We got you.
So that looks very good. A lot of people don't give a fuck about it because it's just separate, but I think doing new things is just as good. Because Silent Hill, we played this the other day, and we're playing this later, Downpour. And they're both very average. This was okay. Homecoming was all right.
I thought Homecoming was okay. Yeah.
This, on the other hand, feels like it feels like a bunch of college students saw Silent Hill and have made their own Silent Hill.
Oh God!
So
that sounds awesome.
I'm all for them, especially keeping with the same dev team. Let's keep it all in house. The same people that know now what worked well for them, what didn't. And let them make a brand new game from the game up. I think that's cool. I'm really excited for that. That for me, for this year, there's that and two other games that I'm like really, really excited for. Which is the next game I'm going to talk about, which is Final Fantasy Tactics. My notes for this is incredible and so hyped. So this is a remake. Is it really a remake? I'd say so. Of the original Final Fantasy Tactics that was on PS1. which was
It's not like they've completely remastered it. It's just like it's like an upscale, kind of like what they did
it's
with
like a nice polish in it.
Yeah, yep.
So, but also they've done some quality of life things. But it's the entire first game remade. It's all voice acted as well, which I feel, for me, I'm not bothered. I played Yakuza. I have to read 90% of that game anyway. But I'm fine with it being voice acted or not. Hopefully they have an option to turn it off. Because if they're just annoying voices and I just want to read instead, I can turn it off. I think they said there's an option for that, but don't quote me. But yeah, that looks really good. They've been teasing loads of things with that as well. Like, there's different perspectives. You can view the battle like top down, or you can traditionally as it was. And it was a bit confusing because it's all on different levels. A bit Minecrafty it looks, like it's all square blocks. So if you want to move like 3 blocks to the left, if it's all on different levels, you might not necessarily know where it's going to put you. So you can play on like a clean slate palette sort of thing, looking down and just select the box instead. That looks really cool. And I think if they modernize it, they're probably going to make it not as complicated in parts. Because that's the one thing whenever I've watched Tactics is it looks a little bit overwhelming at times with some of the things. And I hope they hold my hand a little bit to start with. But yeah, that looks good. I know for you love RPGs and stuff, but you don't have the attention span for turn-based and stuff, do you, anymore? I think he's unplugged us, boys. Your mum's a hoe. Your mum's a literal hoe. He's literally unplugged us. Is he back?
Let's get back to that. Yeah, I'm back. My mic was like falling.
Oh no, you're good, mate. Don't worry. But I was saying that that you're before me calling you mum a hoe, I was saying that that you're probably excited for it, but you won't play it. You kind of don't really get on with turn-based stuff anymore.
Oh, Tactics.
Yeah,
dude, I played Tactics back in the day. I remember when I was at like used to work a rental place, so like a mom and pop video store that was in town. It was cool. I used to, when I was a kid, I'd rent all my games. And I remember just like it was. So I was playing that on the I think it was was a Game Boy. No, it was Game Boy Advance. They brought a
Game Boy Advance version out. DS? I don't know if it was the same game though, because it was called Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced, and
it starts with a snowball fight. That's all I remember.
But I think
I played that. Maybe that's not the right game that I'm thinking.
I think that's what I was thinking when they announced this. I was like, oh, it's just another Tactics game. And then when they said it's a remake, I was like, please don't be a remake of Advanced. Be an actual, because I was planning on playing it this year anyway, because I'm going to play a bunch of RPGs. But I was going to play Tactics, was going to be like in the first 5 RPGs I play this year, or JRPGs. So I'm glad that it's that one that's getting remade, because now I don't have to play the PS1 version. And I know that I don't mind playing old consoles, but the loading in some of those older games can be a bit of a pain, and saving, and they're going to modernize it and make the menus really quick, and yeah. So that's one of the games that I'm really excited for.
I'm glad it's coming. I'm excited. I know people are going to love it.
Play it.
I don't give 2 shits about it. I'll never play it.
I get that. I get that.
Not for me.
There'll be games in the list like that you really like.
Oh, that's fine. No,
like
it's all good.
Neo 3 or Noah 3. I always think it's called Neo 3.
Neo.
Which I've never played. The other 2, but I really enjoyed watching them. For me, actually, no, it's a lie. I played number 1. I just never really got on with it. For me, the thing that's always put me off is the stamina in it. Like, you have to press a button to get your stamina back.
Keep pulsing,
yeah. And for me, I couldn't get that down and play. It felt like I was paying attention to 2 things at once. So I suppose as you get into the game, it's just second nature, innit? But for me,
you get used to it.
I was like, yeah, it's not for me. It looks okay. I think they've kind of seen what Elden Ring did, and they've kind of just gone, okay, we'll try this. I don't think it's fully open world, but I think it's a lot more open than...
I hope so, because that's one of my complaints with Neo.
It's too linear.
Not too linear. You do kind of go back and backtrack through areas. They're just not very well designed. They're kind of boring and bland environments.
Yeah.
That and you're just picking missions. You get kind of loaded into an area, and that wouldn't even bother me so much if the areas were like cool, like how Dark Souls does it. Their world and environments, Elden Ring, where they put a lot of detail into the areas you're at, and you're like, shit, you're always kind of like, whoa, this castle's awesome, or this cave, or wherever I'm at. Where Neo, I couldn't tell you one like, whoa, this really cool area. It was all okay. I'm in a burning village. Okay, I'm in a weird looking castle. That's my only kind of complaints with Neo. And the enemy designs to me were just kind of meh. You know, I wasn't really blown away by the enemies.
Yeah.
But it was the gameplay that sold me with
and the
Neo.
weapons. There's a lot of weapons you could use, and was that the game where the more you used a weapon, the better you got with it? Was it that game?
No, I don't think so. You do kind of just level up stats like in the souls.
Okay.
Like you it's called, I think, Amrita, but they're souls or whatever. You just put them into strength, heart, whatever it is that kind of correlate to that particular weapon you're using. But I was like you, like when Neo first came out, or there was a demo, I remember playing it and I was just like, I don't know if I like like it's just okay, and I don't like the 3 different stances. It's confusing. I have like, I don't know if I like this, blah, blah, blah. And the more and more, I think I got bored. And then the more and more I played it, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of liking this because the gameplay is fast and fluid. The combat is really satisfying, and you get used to like, dude, by a couple hours in, you're gonna just be. At first, you're just kind of sticking to one stance or 2 stance. You know what I mean? You're kind of you're like anything. You just got to get used to it, and then near like probably 10 to 15 hours in or so, you're going flopping back and forth. You're switching stances constantly. You're doing high attacks. And one of my favorite things about this is you get really cool, unique skills depending on what stance you're in. So you'll go into high stance, pull off a couple of heavy attacks, do like a cool skill, then you'll switch to mid stance, do a couple more attacks, and your dodges change. The way you dodge, like if you're in heavy stance, you'll do a kind of a heavier roll. If you're in like light stance, you'll like dash around real quick. Like so the way you fundamentally play and do things and it's just cool. It really changes it up. That's where Neo had me coming back, was the gameplay. But I hope with Neo 3, and I haven't really played the demo yet or really checked it out, but I hope if they can improve like the level design, then I think it'd have something quite special. A really solid game.
Yeah, it could be. If it looks really good, I probably will go and play the other 2 and play all 3 then. But
yeah, I think you'd have fun with them.
Yeah, but that looks pretty good. That was one of them that graphically at first I thought it was Onimusha because they'd not really showed anything on that. So
it does remind me of Onimusha. Even Neo back in the day. Even the Neos are very much Onimusha. The Souls, like, oh yeah, that's why I also kind of really liked it. Is it just definitely gave me Onimusha vibes. But definitely.
Next game that they showed, I think they showed actually this was on the Konami stream as well. They showed more of this, but they showed more for Metal Gear Delta, which is obviously Metal Gear 3, which looks really cool. That again, I'm playing that day one. That looks really.
Me too.
One of the better Metal Gears.
3 is my favorite. I love 3.
Yeah, 3 is the one that it's not. Metal Gear Solid 4 as a story is the strongest because it's told very well, but also to sacrifice that, there's a lot of cutscenes and a lot of dead time where you're not doing anything.
Yeah,
but
true.
I think this has a perfect balance of gameplay, fun gameplay as well, not just shooting things in the head like you're doing 4, and a really good, incredible story. So
you can get into, I know I won't do it for now, but we could get into 4 because I love 4. It's a great game, but as you play it, like it's amazing in the beginning, but by the end, I was like, oh my god! And I loved the ending. About it, but oh my god, there's a lot of.
I don't know. I really like 4, but it's because I played the rest and it was like a journey.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, it was. It was a journey. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, people are also saying the same thing for this as the word Silent Hill. Now, I was with people with Silent Hill. Why remake 2 first? Why start at number 2? You're just doing the most popular.
Ass backwards.
But with Silent Hill, the reason they did that is because, one, although you can play it from start to end, it's the cult. It's all about the cult. And number 2 is more about James and what he's done and his journey. You mentions the cult once or twice in the original. In the remake, I think it's mentioned the same amount. So it makes sense to start with one that is completely separate and just introduces you to the world. And then we're going to, obviously, it's been announced since then that we're getting a 1 remake. So I think that makes sense. For this, it also makes sense. And it's because fucking Metal Gear, the story is so confusing as it is
Oh,
anyway.
it's convoluted. I love it, but it's convoluted.
Yeah,
It's almost Kingdom Hearts level of
but and it's
convoluted.
for me, if you're gonna remake games, you're not just remaking it for my satisfaction to go. I remember Metal Gear Solid 3, but if I was to remake it now, I'd do this, this, and this. I'd make it look nicer, whatever.
Yeah.
For me,
Yep.
it's about reintroducing people to games that were like, when I tell my kids or grandkids in the future, like, oh, this game was incredible, Metal Gear Solid 3. Or, for example, like Final Fantasy 7 or 8. If they go back and that's the only version of it, they're
Right,
just
the
going to
old
go,
one.
oh, it looks fucking
It's like,
terrible. I'm not
shit.
playing
Yeah,
this.
this is dumb as
So-
hell. I gotta read all this?
Yeah, so I think as long as they're doing it that way and they
Yeah.
keep it very true, that it pretty much just looks like a
It
one-for-one
looks like they are.
remake.
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It does.
So it makes
Which
sense
is
to
good.
me because this canonly in the timeline is the first game. So maybe next, if this does really well, maybe they'll go
Remake.
the dream, not Metal Gear Solid. I want Metal Gear, Metal Gear 1
Yeah.
and Metal Gear 2.
Yes, I do
Like,
too.
Because
I
we've
do
never
too.
seen those other than this, and we got obviously Metal Gear 5. But they don't need to remake that. That you would after Snake Eater, you would play 5 canonly at the minute,
Right.
In like the modern ways. But yeah, if they made Metal Gear 1 and 2, that's the only one that is like the missing hole that not a lot of people know about until you play it.
Yes.
And even if you go back and play them, I played them a few years ago for the first time. They still hold up. It's just you kind of have to just know that it's an older game and you're going to get fucked. Like
it's the point you just made though. You're like you want to show like your kids, oh, this was Metal Gear 3, man, and they're like, this looks stupid. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's kind of like with us. I know that it was made on whatever it was on.
Yeah, the NES.
Nintendo, the regular Nintendo.
It was the first one was the NES, but the second one never came out over here. It was only in Japan on like the MSX2, which was a Japanese console.
Right. So now for someone like me, I'm never gonna go back and play those.
Yeah.
Like, and I agree with you. Not every game needs to be for Christ's sakes. But if they want to do the full blown, no, I want them to go back to Metal Gear.
Yeah,
Metal Gear 1 and 2, where you get to see the minefield Frank, who eventually turns into Gray Fox. You get to see, I'll just say, Venom Snake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big Boss that you didn't know was Big Boss. Like they'll have all these different things that if you've played Metal Gear Solid and all, you get to see them and play them yourself. That I want them to do that.
Yeah.
So because I think they'll do a great job in that engine. You know what I mean? Because their engine is amazing.
Yep.
Phantom Pain to me still is incredible.
I'd argue
after playing engine or whatever.
I played them all back to back, and I'd still, even though Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid are like, just for nostalgia reasons, I love. It's hard to argue after playing them all back to back that Metal Gear Solid 5 isn't the best one. Because not only
in terms of gameplay,
even like
not
story, I don't know, storytelling though is really good. Although it's not like
it's weird how it ends, man. It's weird how it ends,
but it
like
does make sense. You don't come out of it thinking, "What the fuck did I just play?" Like whereas a lot of Metal Gears, you'll come out of it thinking, "Well, that's just teasing another." That game, the reason I like it so much is that it kind of full circles the entire thing, and you see. Oh, that's why that happened. That's that. So, I think that's where it doesn't get. But I think a lot of people probably don't do everything to get that full circle effect, and that's a drawback of it as well. I think.
I'm just disappointed in the ending where it was a great game. It just feels like it ends like at the 75% mark. And then they have a text scroll of these are the things that happen. It's like, well, I would like to have seen that or play that.
I do like it though because
know,
obviously the true ending is where you're playing. Obviously, you're not playing as Big Boss in the game. You're playing as Venom Snake, who is and he in the end. So the original Metal Gear, when Snake goes in and kills Big Boss, he doesn't kill Big Boss. He kills Venom Snake.
He kills Venom,
and he's in Outer Haven at that point, listening to Big Boss's message, and that's when he smiles, and you can hear in the background, you hear gunfire, and. As a thing, you might just think, oh, they're just on a base. No, that's Snake in the background fighting his way to get to Big Boss. He's fighting his way through the compound or fighting. And who's not to say that when he exits that room at the end, because he punches the mirror and it exits the room, he goes out of the room and Snake's in the room and they fight. And Snake kills him.
Be right
That's
into
why I
a
like to
boss
think,
fight.
and that's why for that game, like it's so good, like for that reason.
Yeah, oh
So
no, for sure. Oh yeah.
yeah, it's getting multiplayer mode. Metal Gear Online was terrible. I played it on the
That was
PS4, but
I played it. I thought I
yeah,
had fun with it, but it was just kind of like I played it for a little
not
bit,
great.
not
Yeah,
enough staying power. It looks a lot cooler than it kind of is. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
definitely.
weird. I don't
It
know.
looks like they're
I did
doing
have
some sort
fun
of
with
like
it.
prop hunt or something for it.
Oh,
From what
okay,
I
that
could
could be
guess,
fun.
it
Top
looks
hunt's
like
cool.
that. I think that was that's what they need to do. Fun little modes. Because I don't think the gameplay is good enough to be like capture the flag, team deathmatch. It needs to be
Yeah, it needs
you're
to be
playing
unique.
as like I remember there was a James Bond game. I think it was Quantum of Solace, where you had a multiplayer mode called Bond, and one of you is Bond, and the rest of the dudes are just random terrorists, and you have a very basic equipment, and you have to hunt Bond down. Bond has all his gadgets, he has loads of guns, and he's got more health because he's Bond. That was really cool. I think they should
That's
do a
cool.
similar mode in this,
Yeah,
where
that's
Snake
cool.
mode, where Big Boss mode, where you're playing as Big Boss, and the rest of the players are playing. You know, you might get a guard with a sniffer dog, or you might get a guard that's on a turret or in a helicopter on a turret. Um, and you've got to hunt down Snake and try and find him, and he could be anywhere in the map in the vicinity of where it is. But he gets all his, you know, he can go up trees, he can camouflage, he changes camera, he can put down traps. It'll be so good. Do I think they're
That
going
would
to
be
do that?
cool. I like that.
No, I don't think they'll think that much into it. But
No, probably not.
they're doing Ape Escape in it as well, which is cool. I played Ape
Yeah, that's
Escape for the
cool.
first time. I liked it in the original one that they did that, so it's cool that they're doing that. But also with this game, I'm trying not to look at anything and read up on anything because I don't want. Although I know what the game is, I know the story, I know the twist, I know everything. I just want to see it all for the first time. I don't want to be like, oh, this was the bit from the trailer, the new bit of the game. I just want that. If they are going to do anything new or a new section, I want to experience it. So I'm hyped, but I've silenced it on everything. I don't see trailers. I don't see the trailer too much anywhere because I'm trying to keep separated because that's like Metal Gear is another series I really love. So
Rises and
yeah,
twists and turns, and yeah.
yeah,
But the game looks, it looks
it
actually.
looks really good.
To talk about just the single player,
Mm,
no, it looks great. Like you said, it looks like they're pretty much going to stay true to the original,
yeah,
and just really give it that like sheen, that polish, that touch, that that kind of modern touch. So
mm,
no, and that's exactly what I want.
yeah,
Complete
definitely.
remaster. Everything's different. We're gonna put Raiden back, and do some
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
dumb, make some dumb decision. So no, I'm definitely excited for it.
And that's out in August. I booked 3 days off. I think that's long enough for me to beat it.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Oh yeah, for
try.
sure.
We're gonna do. So we're gonna poll before we play it, like the week before. Well, maybe not the week before. I might have to prep, but we're gonna cosplay for it. And I'll let you guys decide who we cosplay as. I reckon
Nice.
Evil will win. So I'm gonna have to get my boobs out.
Oh yeah, get them
Um,
nice fat titties out,
Oh
baby.
yeah.
Oh
But I'm gonna
yeah.
try and beat it on the hardest difficulty first time. Whether that we're gonna be able to do it in
Ooh.
72
Ooh,
hours,
sweaty.
whether you can even do it on the hardest difficulty is another thing. But yeah, I'll definitely be playing that day one at midnight because it's one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Next game. Again, they didn't show much, but I'm glad they're not showing. I don't want to see another thing for it. Is Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, oh yeah, it looks good.
It's getting
Looks
its
really good.
own state of play next month, which I'm on the wall
Oh
of
wow,
watching.
damn. Its
So
own.
it is going to get its own. Usually, big Sony titles get their own in focus thing. I think Microsoft did a similar thing as well. But yeah, the game, if it's anything, if it's 70% of what Ghost of Tsushima is, it potentially could be Game of the Year. For me, they don't.
I hope it wins Game of the Year to shut the fucking dickheads up about Expedition 33. I hope it wins Game of the Year. So many people. You imagine Jeff Keighley has the envelope for Expedition 33, and he's like, "Guys, could you? I have a funny fucking idea. Let's give it to Ghost of Yotai and just have everybody about it, and then be like, oh." Was the wrong envelope, guys. Oh, I'm so sorry. And they'll have a Twitter post about it or X post. It was actually supposed to go to Expedition 33. Sorry about that. So okay, it won Game of the Year, but Ghost of Yotai was announced.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take it.
If it's anything like the original,
it's gonna be
it is definitely in contention because the original
it does look awesome.
was
It looks really
hands
good.
and heads and tails above.
Oh, the
whatever
original was
else came out
awesome. Yeah, I
around that
loved
year.
it.
And that came out the same year as Final Fantasy Remake, and it came out the same year as Last of Us 2. And it was way better than both those games. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, suck my dick.
I forgot it came out the same year as Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
Ooh, if I
like
had.
I don't
Ooh,
know.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
and that's
I think I
definitely
definitely would
another
pick. Yeah,
podcast for that. But
true.
yeah,
True. Yeah, it could be a whole other
for
topic.
me, because I think what helped it and what might be not a downfall as such, but what this game might struggle with is that for me at least, I saw gameplay and I was like, oh, it looks like a scuffed Assassin's Creed in Japan. I'll pick it up because I've always wanted an Assassin's Creed in Japan. And then I played it and I
First Switch to
realized,
do it.
oh my god, this game is
God,
not
this is
Assassin's
good.
Creed in Japan. This is a game.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, that element of surprise is gone. We know what we're going to get now. So they have to build on that and they have to make it just as epic because some of the scenes in the first game are so good. Like,
yeah, the beginning was amazing too.
I don't really get goosebumps in games, but I got goosebumps like multiple times playing that, and hopefully I'll get goosebumps in this one. They're gonna do more weapons, so not just your samurai. Hopefully more. Hopefully each weapon has its own stance as well. So maybe there is like you have to just maybe instead of having different stances, you just have different weapons. I think that's probably how they're going to do it. Rather than go, you've got 4 different stances for a samurai, you've got 4 different stances for this and this. I think instead of having 4 different stances, you'll just have different weapons and they'll be your different stances sort of thing. Who knows? I've not looked. They might have already announced that and said that's how it's going to be. I don't know.
True. You're just kind of trying to keep
Yeah. So that's out in October.
Pretty surprised by it.
So we will not be playing that in October.
Ooh.
We'll be playing that 1st of November. Because horror month, unless they put ghosts in it, literal ghosts, then I'll scam it and we'll just say this is this is the scariest game ever. So that looks incredible. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I am too. Looks good.
Just to skim through some of the other things, because apart from the final reveal, I think that they did at State of Play, Astrobot got 5 new levels. Now, when you think new levels, it's like new worlds. I've not played Astrobot fully, but I've played it at Tom's. I've played a couple of levels. And to be honest, if the game wasn't fucking 50 quid everywhere, I'd have bought it ages ago. It looks like a lot of fun.
You see, it's fun. It is fun. It's not 50's not terrible for it. Did it win Game of the Year?
Yeah, it won Game of the Year. And I think deservedly as well. I don't know.
Really? Okay. What was the other?
It's like a homage, not only to everything Sony, but they have a lot to celebrate, clearly, in the last few years, because they've had a very successful last 10 years, let's say. But also, the thing I really liked about the devs when they were on the stage is they fucking did the curse thing you should never do, is they mentioned a rival. They mentioned Nintendo and Mario, and they said it's a homage to that. And I was like, okay, that's a really nice thing to do. Like, because I remember a few years ago when the PS4 and Xbox One released, and then Sony made some like, congratulations, Microsoft, on your release of your new console. It just felt like they had to do that. Yeah. So, whereas it's nice that they are fully going, it's nice to pay tribute to a Mario that, obviously, if you've only ever had a PlayStation all your life, you won't have ever played a Mario. So I thought that was really cool. The devs seem cool as fuck. So yeah, that looks good. I probably will play Astrobot eventually. I'm just going to wait to either find it cheap somewhere or until it gets added to Plus. Next game, also Coops, butt in at any point if you want to talk about any of these. But,
nope. That's good.
Pragmata, which I had no idea what this was. It looks cool. A new IP. I think it's an IP, but from the chat that was going on at the time, they
Capcom, right?
I think it's Capcom, yeah. They were kind of going a bit mental. So I thought maybe this is already maybe an older series that they're bringing back. Looks kind of cool. Okay. It kind of looks a bit Soulsy at types, like a bit of a Souls clone-esque thing. But I don't really know much about it other than it looks like a new IP. It looks really interesting. Graphics look nice. Has a cool art style. And yeah, I don't know what sort of game it is. If it's a Souls-like, but I'm interested. It ticked my box to add it to the list to talk about. So yeah, looks cool. And as well, I like it that they're trying new things. We're not just getting, Dark Souls 5. We're getting like new things. We're trying new things.
Yeah,
So
try anything, new IPs. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
No, it looks cool. It looks interesting. More
so
actiony. More
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, and if the combat's clean in it, I think as well, if it is Capcom, that means they're doing two kind of Souls-like games because they're doing Onimusha next year, which
Yeah,
looks really
Animution looks
good.
good. It looks. I'm so happy they're
So
bringing that back
yeah,
finally.
yeah, yeah,
Neo, we talked about it earlier, but Neo kind of scratched that
yeah, yeah.
where now they're just like bringing it back, and it looks like kind of like Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
That
they've kept
flowy kind of
from what I've
free flow
seen,
combat.
they've kept like the thing like where you suck the souls in, like I don't know what it's called, 'cause
Yeah,
I've never
the
played it, but
gauntlet, that soul
yeah,
gauntlet, whatever it's called.
they've
Yeah,
kept
yep.
all that in the new one, so I'm hyped. It looks sick. I'm gonna play the others in anticipation for that. So, but that's next year. That'll probably be like late next year. I think. I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna be an early release.
Did you ever play the old
No,
Animushas? I know you guys seen
I've bought
them,
them.
but
I've seen people play the new remaster of 2 that came out, but
nice.
I've never even played. The
I loved
thing
them, man.
that drew me to him is that I think Sleeks played one. He played the first one that was remastered,
Yep, I
and I
remember
was like,
watching Sleep
this just looks like Resident Evil. Like the
It is,
movement,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
it's Resident Evil,
yep,
but kind of with like a bit of a scuffed Devil May Cry.
yep.
So and I love both those series. So yeah, I'm hyped for that. Hopefully, Pragmata, if it's Capcom, I hope they're not juggling too many things at once. But it won't just be one team, will it? They've got teams of.
They have multiple teams, yeah.
Next one is Butter's most anticipated game of the century, Thief VR.
God.
Now, VR games are a bit dead, not going to lie. I've got a VR. I can't even remember the last time I turned it on. But it kind of looks a bit cool. I'm not going to lie. I think this is getting a PC release. I hope it's not just PSVR because I'm never buying one of those. But if it does get a VR release, I'll play it on stream because I've got all this room now. Not that it looks like I've got room, but I have room that I could run around in a circle. So I will definitely be buying that and playing it on stream.
And well, the cool thing with VR now too is like you just set up boundaries and stuff. Like you can really play. You can sit on your chair because I do like stand up and walk around and stuff. You don't have to walk; you have the control stick because they do compensate for people who don't have the huge, like big area, big play spaces. Like I remember playing Half-Life Alyx, and that game to me, that'd be a good game to maybe talk about, like you know, eventually, because that was to me like if you want a great VR experience and you want to go,
that's the one.
The future of VR, that's the one. Because so many people were talking about it. I was like, oh, it's in VR, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I was disappointed.
Apparently,
but I finally got to...
sorry, just to cut in.
No, go ahead.
And we're deleting this off the list now. It's Quest 3 only. I don't have a Quest 3.
Oh,
I've got a Quest 2. So, fuck Thief VR. Fuck you. You've thiefed me of a game that I could have streamed. But I agree. From what I've seen, Half-Life Alyx looks really good.
It's really good. It's very, very good.
The only VR game I've played that I really love was Resi 4. Like when they did that in VR, that was brilliant.
Yeah,
the whole
Resident Evil
game.
4.
So, yep, that looks kind of cool. I don't know much about it, but it looked cool from the little things you could do in the game. But it's Quest 3, so please make it on the Quest 2 as well. Next one is a bit of a weird one, but I thought I'd mention it. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. This is more of a me and Tom game. Basically, they're just putting all the old Mortal Kombats in one place, and it's also going to be online. Now, the netcode for fighting games anyway is dog shit. With old fighting games, it's probably going to be even worse. But I think as a couch, there's no couch co-op anymore because everyone does online anyway. But I think it's just missing from games like when I went to Tom's, we tried to find games that we could play together and we struggled. There were so many that weren't split screen anymore. So this is like a perfect if you got a few buddies over or you've got like a friend over or a son, play Mortal Kombat.
True.
It's so good. It's so much fun.
Get the nostalgia back.
So definitely that is like a party game. That's kind of cool. Digimon Storytime. Now, funnily enough, I didn't make any notes for this, but it looked kind of like a Pokemon game, but just Digimon.
Okay.
So that could be interesting because I feel it's not Niantic that do Pokemon. It's Pokemon Go. That it's game. What are they called? Game Freak.
Oh, Game Freak. Yep.
Yeah. I feel like they obviously hold the eggs of Pokemon, and they just push out a game every now and again. They don't. If Pokemon was free as an IP and everyone could do it, no one would play their games. I feel like they're not forced to be very innovative at all. Whereas
it was already getting dunked on.
Yeah, so the new one, Pokemon, looks kind of cool because it's the same. It's like a Legends game, like Arceus, which was meant to be one of the better ones. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'll play it if it's just Digimon, but like a Pokemon game. I liked Digimon growing up. I had like a Digimon Tamagotchi that you could level up by shaking and walking around. It was sick.
Well, that's why people bullied you so much.
Well, yeah,
Digimon
and I was fat.
up.
Well, no, actually, I
Jesus.
wasn't fat as a kid.
I was fat
as an
too.
adult.
I was a fat kid. I was
yeah.
a fat kid. I got
No,
bullied.
you're still a fat adult, to be honest. So
that is true. And I still get bullied as an adult too.
No, I'm definitely. I got on the Wii Fit board this is a few years ago as well, and it maxed out. It maxed out the fucking weight. It was hilarious.
Oh, Jesus
it was like
Christ.
super obese.
Sued him.
I was like, mate,
hey, I like the Super Nintendo.
The thing is,
super obese.
We're playing on a 4x3 TV, so if we had a widescreen, it probably would have gone off chart. But...
yeah. Oh Jesus! You should have sued him for that.
Yeah, should have. I'm damaged. All I've done since then is eat. I can't deal with it.
Yep. The Great Depression.
But yeah, that could be cool. I'm down for that. It just looks like a chill stream game. There's that, and then the last big reveal, I think, which does look kind of cool, and it's kind of got me buying games of the same series, is the new Bond. I don't know if it's got a title yet, but I think it's just called 007. I don't think it's got an official title. But
it said First Light, but I don't know if that's what they're going. I don't know if that's what they're going with.
I probably should have researched that a bit more, but yeah, it's done by the same company that does Hitman. Oh, it's First Light. Okay, that's the title. Cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, now if we're gonna go with the devs of Hitman, I've always loved Hitman. The new Hitman games, the amount of replayability you can do is so good, just for the fact that like you can play the first level like 10 times and have different
different ways
outcomes
to do it
every
to kill
time.
The guy.
So yeah, I think if they do Bond like this and you can make each level, you can, because he's got 1,000,001 gadgets. He's very similar to Agent 47, isn't he? He's got like a fucking watch that could, I don't know, have a laser on it. He has a gun that could have different attachments, different weapons. He always has like daft gadgets, doesn't
he? Yeah. Yep.
So I do think that if they go down that, I hope they go down that route with it, and that's why they've got these Hitman devs to make it. Because if not, it just feels a bit wasted of him to have them do it, but not implement the like replayability of Hitman or whatever. So yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, it looks okay. I'm watching. Yeah, it looks okay. Could be it kind of gives me Uncharted vibes a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan of his
Bond
design.
as well.
It is a young guy. He kind of looks like Nathan Drake. You know what I mean? So, but no, you're right. If they kind of get the best of both worlds, where they do like Uncharted, where cinematic, cooler set piece moments and experiences. If they get really good gunplay, good melee, if they get that down, and if they do a unique, fun Bond story. I would look at movies like Casino Royale, GoldenEye.
All the modern ones. I think
Skyfall.
Rather than making it too cheesy like the old ones. Like I like the old ones, but I would always say that if you're going to introduce a new era to people, to Bond, then just go from Casino Royale on. Because they're easy.
They're awesome.
Some of them are long, but all Bond films have been long, really. They've always been 2-hour-plus films. So yeah, it's a nice little spin on Bond. He feels a bit more real than the older ones, where there were some of them. Even Sean Connery, he felt like a bit of an old man, even in the first one.
Yeah, he's getting older in the first one. Yeah,
this Bond felt like he was a younger guy, and yeah, this one he's clearly. He might even not be Bond yet, so he might be like in training, because I think from what they show in the trailer, he's like being selected to potentially be Bond, and this might be like his proving ground. So yeah, it's coming out next year. So again, I don't mind them announcing this, but I wouldn't make a game like that maybe the focal, like the last thing you're going to remember. I'd have maybe done something that is coming out this year that is, I'd have ended with something on Ghosts rather than I'd have maybe opened with 007. But I'm pretty sure they finished with Bond. And for me personally, I'm like, that looks great. And then I see dropping 2026, and I'm like, oh, so far away. I'm not bothered. And
it loses kind of the hype right away.
That's always been my gripe about Xbox. Xbox for a while did one. They did a showcase where they went, every game you see today is coming out this year. And some of them did get delayed, but the majority of them were that year. And some of them were like mid games, but I like that because it's like, well, that's all I want to know about, because that's all I'm bothered about this year is from January to what am I going to play and buy. Whereas they could show Fable, and we still fucking haven't got a date on it. But they keep name dropping it. It's annoying.
I know it is annoying.
So
you hear so many times, you just don't care anymore. You're just like, okay, I'm like,
Fable again, I don't even react until I see it.
Right,
we've never seen gameplay on it.
Solid.
It's a myth. It's a myth. It doesn't exist at the minute. Like Silk Song, we have seen like 3 seconds of gameplay of Silk Song, which is 3 seconds longer than Fable. So yeah, but that moves us nicely onto the Xbox showcase, which I've made some notes for as well. I'd say overall state of play was good. Some people, it's just like anything, they all go shit, meh, trash,
everything sucks.
And it's just like, my god, like they're not going to give you everything. They're not going to go, look, we're thinking of doing a fucking Iron Man game in 10 years' time. Do you want us to tell you that now? No, like, so I don't like, for me, the fact that we got to see more Silent Hill F, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ghost of Yotai, Metal Gear, Mortal Kombat, even like little things like the Marvel fighting game, they all look really cool. I like that. That's a win for me. If 2 or 3 cool games, I'm not going to like everything that shows up. Usually, they go into the weeb section and they'll show like 3 weeb games back to back, and at that point, I just go for a piss. Because it's not for me. But I know that there's some kid there
I can tune out of it.
with his fucking plushie that's screaming. Because he's, that's the game he's always wanted. But
for sure. There's always people excited. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not too fussed about that sort of shit.
No, me either.
So I thought it was a good one. I thought it was just as good as the Xbox One. People were saying the Xbox One was trash, but Xbox had some good stuff. They showed, to begin with, I think they showed Outer Worlds 2, which, again, I'm trying not to look at too much because I definitely want to play Outer Worlds 2. I liked the first one.
Thought it was okay.
I thought it was. It felt like it felt better than Starfield because it had more to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
But,
a lot more heart and soul than Starfield had.
Definitely, but it felt like they were just missing things, and a second game they could add that, and it looks like this game they're going to do that. The perk system looks really good. Like there's drawbacks. So, for example, the showcase one where you can be like a master thief or sneak in Mastering Sneak, and if you crouch, you can be undetected pretty much.
Okay.
The minute you uncrouch, your knees crack, and everyone around you in a certain vicinity will hear your knees crack.
That's cool.
So I think that
I like that.
Putting little fun things in like that.
Yeah.
Which you could go a full stealth sneak build, but you've just got to remember that I probably should have a look around before I get up because my knee is definitely going to crack.
It's
and everyone's
crack.
So I think
no one's nearby.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
I think they showed off a couple more, but I didn't really pay attention too much to that because I'm like, when they showed that, I was like, that's so cool, but I wish I'd not known about that. I think that would have been more fun to find out when I play it.
Yeah, like a surprise.
Yeah.
And you know what makes me excited too is I'm watching a trailer. The melee combat should be better because even though Avowed we shit on the day, I enjoy the combat.
Yeah.
Everything else about it was very mid. But so and it definitely looks like after watching the gameplay, it doesn't look amazing, but it looks definitely better than Outer Worlds 1.
Yeah.
So if they kind of have that same funny kind of, they had a cool campy vibe,
I think if they keep that and then just improve the story and the gameplay, I think it'll be all right.
Yes.
And more perks, I think for sure they need to add.
And I like how you said with perks as opposed to, okay, we'll give you this cool thing. But it's just a minus 10% health.
Yeah, that's just
some
shit in it.
Stupid,
but give us goofy shit. And
yeah, like your knees crack. Like
what I also think would be a good idea is don't tell us what the drawback is until it happens. So you like in
Oh, that's
Fallout,
cool. I like that.
like when you break your leg, it comes up saying you've broke your leg. You will now not be able to run, or your aim is worse because it's your arm. In this, I hope that you take that and you think, oh my god, I get a 500% detection less in stealth when crouched. You take it, you
Yeah, it's
crouch,
crazy.
you stand up, it cracks, and it comes up on screen. Oh, the drawback to this is you've got bad knees because that's all you've done for
Yeah,
years. And yeah,
it's
so
crouch.
I hope that
That's
that's
cool.
how they implement it, because then you don't know what you're taking and what the drawback is.
Yep.
I think that's really cool.
No, that is
So
cool, and it changes up how you play the game.
yeah, and I'm glad that they're kind of making that their focal point, and they've really pushed it and put money behind it by the looks of it. Because, like I said, the first game was great. I enjoyed it. I didn't do the DLC, but I played everything in the base game, and I just felt like if it had like a big push by Microsoft themselves or by someone, put a bit more money into it, we probably would have got a better polished
Yeah.
game. And I think that's
Yes.
what we've got now. So I'm
That's
excited for
what I
that.
hope so. They'd be stupid to not throw money at them for
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
So I think they've kind of shown that they've got the talent after Outer Worlds 1, and that was my biggest, like, not so much complaint, my kind of like my gripe or wish as I was playing Outer Worlds 1. I was like, they've got something special here. It's just kind of an ugly
It's
game.
just
The
yeah.
gameplay is very meh, but they've got like kind of, kind of decent characters, and I liked exploring the area, and Dune, it's like the sum of its all parts. It's pretty damn good.
Yep.
So yeah, you throw more money at these. Hey, budget's unlimited for Outer Worlds 2. We want the same type of vibe, but we want better combat. We want better exploration. We want things, and then just go.
Yeah.
And let them go at it. And for a whole, and I hope that's what this is.
Yeah.
So, and from what I've seen, it looks good.
Mhm.
I'm excited for it. It'll be on Game Pass. It'll be a great Game Pass game.
That's the other
You know
thing.
what I mean?
The majority of these games that we're going to go through now are on Game Pass, with the exception
Day
of 1 and
one.
2. So, which
True.
is amazing. That's the best thing about Game Pass. Although it's gone up in price. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have to increase it somehow, right? If they're doing all these games.
Yeah.
They're taking a hit. Like, for example, with Starfield, probably didn't sell that well because no one bought it. Everyone just got Game Pass. The majority of the player base that played it day one, I reckon, just had Game Pass and played it that way, rather than go to GameStop or wherever and buy it on disc. I just don't think that happens anymore. Especially if you have the option that's on Game Pass and you have the money in your bank account to buy it, and it's probably a one playthrough and you're done. Are you really going to drop 60 quid on it? Or are you going to buy a 3 months worth of Game Pass? You're going to buy 3 months worth of Game Pass over it. So
then
that's my experience,
all
at
of
least.
Game Pass.
Yeah.
You have all of Game Pass.
And then you've got all the other games as well. Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Yep, exactly.
So yeah, that looks cool. Next one, they announced a new handheld. I don't think this is like that. Well, it is an Xbox. It's not got. I don't think it's got an official name, but it's been done by the Rogue Ally.
Yeah, I've seen these before.
They do their own handholds. So you're going to be able to, unlike the PlayStation Portal, I think you're going to be able to download the games onto it. My only drawback with things like this, like I had a Steam Deck for about 3 months.
Yeah, it seems like
I
more cool in theory.
I played it maybe once a month. So it sounds cool being able to play Game Pass games, Steam games, Epic, anything on it. Emulate and things, have an OS on it. Sounds good, but in reality,
I do believe this is going to be the future of gaming. Really,
yeah,
it's just going to be playing on the go. Everything's
like
going to be portable.
Switch.
You can
like a Switch. Have got it right. I think Nintendo.
Dock it at home.
Nintendo. I think we'll go probably not for this Fluffcast, but next Fluffcast. I've not had a hands-on yet, but
I haven't either.
Actually, it reminds me. I was meant to see Tom today, and I've not even messaged him.
You blew him off.
But
nice.
I actually totally forgot. I said we'll do something Sunday, and then I've cooped it. I'm sorry, Tom. But he's got a Switch 2, so I'll definitely play a Switch 2
that's nice.
before the next one. But yeah, I feel that that's one thing Nintendo have got right, is that there's a nice mix there. The sacrifice you get for that, though, shows with the Switch. So that's why they have to figure out, and I don't think the technology's there. It's like electric cars.
It's getting there.
Amazing in sound, by the sounds of it, but I want to be able to drive to Scotland and back on one tank of fuel and not have to sit for 40 minutes and wait for me it to fast charge.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, it looks cool. Will I get one? If I had the disposable cash, I probably would.
Sure, if I had disposable, yeah.
But if they announce a new console and that, I'm not going to buy that over a new console. So
no, I agree.
But it looks cool.
If you were traveling all constantly and you loved
Yeah,
games,
if
you
I
felt like
worked
you were
away from
missing
home,
out.
I'd have kept my Steam Deck because I would play it
Yeah,
a lot. But I don't like playing games downstairs. That's when I had the Steam Deck. I'd be on it for 10 minutes. I'd flick through another game. I
got
tried to
it.
start like 4 or 5 games, and I just like, well, I'd rather be on my PC and play this, or
Yep.
be on my PlayStation. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, it looks cool. I'm glad that they're kind of trying something different rather than, because I don't think them just solely focusing on games as paid off as they thought it would. They had a kind of like a bit of a resurgence where they announced a bunch of games like um, what's the game that we just started? Fable. They announced a load of games, and then they kind of slowly have either got delayed or they've just not been as good as they've were
Or they're in
anticipated.
development hell. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They're just
so
kind of like,
I kind of feel bad for Xbox because for a long time I preferred Microsoft over Sony.
I did too. I did
And
too.
then
I
it
love
was
the
towards
360.
the end of the 360 and PS3. I just thought the tides flipped and Sony were getting things right.
Dude, they
Microsoft couldn't
flipped
get
at
anything right.
E3. It was
Yeah,
like
well,
what,
that
E3
E3 when they
2016? It
announced
was like,
the
oh my
consoles, it was
god,
an absolute train
it
wreck.
was Jover,
But
man. They just
I honestly
completely
think, right?
annihilated them.
I think that if Sony had gone first, Microsoft had gone second. I don't think that is.
It
I
would have
think
been as bad.
it would have worked exactly the same because Sony would have had all that to go. I think Sony on the get go saw the backlash and went, "Fuck, we can't have this." So that's why when they said, "This is how you share your games on PS4," and they literally just had the guy hand the game. I
Yeah,
think
hand
that
it
was
to
done in
them,
like
yeah.
the back rooms of E3. I think they legit had.
Oh, you think they just because they saw
Yeah,
all the feedback? Yeah,
they
right.
saw the
No, you're
feedback.
right.
So I think if
Like
Sony
we've
had
got to
gone
do this.
first, Sony would have made that mistake and pulled that, and Microsoft would have done something similar. Would Microsoft have stuck to their guns? I don't know if they would have kind of gone with it still, because there's obviously money for them to make from it. But I think what's more important is that no one would have been happy at that outcome if that's where games went. So yeah, I think that's it's cool that they're trying something different at least. A couple of other games that they've shown. I'm just going to run through some that
Sure.
Ninja Gaiden 4. I've never played Ninja Gaiden. You've played Ninja Gaiden more.
They were
than me.
sweaty. They were the sweaty games of their time. I loved them back in the day. I'm glad they're going back to Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm glad they're bringing it back. I'm not ultimately too fussed about it until I start to see more and I start to, it's closer to coming out. But they were the original like get good
Dark
games,
Souls,
you
yeah.
know.
It's like the Dark
Yeah, they
Souls S
were
difficulty, isn't it?
right.
Yeah.
Yep, they were tough as hell, very akin to Devil May Cry, very punishing. You'd fight enemies that would just come like
Yep.
these guys, like ninjas that are flipping around like all over the place. But it was very satisfying once you like really got into it and you started to like fight back and hop off the walls and learn combat. You know, then you started to like, okay, now I get it. But no, it was cool. It was cool. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
Oh no,
it looks cool.
You know.
It's probably a game I'll watch. I'd probably, if Brothers played it, I think it's a perfect Brothers game because he likes his balls being stepped on and being punished for 7 hours on a stream. Whereas I will get killed 3 times and I'll just go to Google and go, how do I beat this boss?
Yep,
what's the secret? What's the fucking secret, devs? Tell me.
Secret sauce, baby.
So yeah, if it looks incredible on launch, I'd probably do a franchise run and completely, get into BDSM and people stamping on my balls because I'll have to.
Shit.
So yeah, that looks cool. Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 remake looks cool.
Hey, that's cool. People will like it.
Again,
I loved them back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know how much it would hold up nowadays. Again, we spoke about this on stream a couple of weeks ago, but I think what Tony Hawk's is missing is online, where we can go in a lobby, all those. Let's say everyone, me and you and everyone in chat has it. We all join my lobby or, Butter's lobby or whatever. And then we all just skate, have free skate. And then we vote. Do we want to play horse? Do we want to play score? Who can get the high score? And then at the end of that, we do a vote. Do we want to change map now? And it takes everyone from that map to the next map seamlessly. I don't think it has something like that in it. And that for me, there's only so many times you can do the main story and it's time-based. And I've played them both before when they were first out. What big differences they're going to be. So, also, this is the most disgusting rat shit thing I've ever seen in my life, and I molded for a few days.
Oh.
Do you want to play the demo to Tony Hawk's 3 and 4 Coops?
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Well, to get the access to do that, mate, you're gonna have to
Uh-huh.
pre-order the game.
Oh, come on. It's
Yeah,
only
what's that?
bucks.
What's that?
Come on, isn't it?
You want to check the game out and see how it is before you drop your money?
No, that's right. I pay us,
Fuck
baby.
you, buddy. Give us the money
No,
now.
give us your money.
Give
Do you
us
have
the
to
money
buy the
now.
whole game?
Yeah,
it's not
well,
like game.
there's two ways. You can either have Game Pass or you can
Okay.
pre-order. But for me, they're just assuming that everybody who has an Xbox has Game Pass.
Has
Now,
Game Pass.
that is true because
They're giving an incentive to people to get Game Pass too.
So I get it,
Yeah.
but still, don't be money hungry cunts
Don't be
and
cheap.
goblins.
Yeah.
So-
Don't be so cheap. You could get Game Pass. We all have
And-
Game Pass.
Yeah,
Cheap ass.
Fletcher's
Give
right.
us some money.
Gears of War did that as well. I don't mind games having closed betas. That's the difference. It's not a demo. It's a closed beta. So it's a multiplayer closed beta. It's only the mega sweats that are going to play it. I don't care for it. I love Gears of War. That's
I
the
won't
next,
either.
That's
I
the
do
next
too.
on my list. But I don't care to play a beta. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking tester, mate. Like, pay people to test your game. Not. I get you're going to get a better reception from us and better feedback.
It's
but,
cool. I'm down for betas,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So it's scummy.
It is scummy. Yeah,
next game,
that's scummy. Just release a demo.
I have one comment for this. There are some people that love this game. I'm not one of them. We've spoke about survival games earlier, but Grounded 2 got announced, and my comment to that is Omega lol.
Yeah.
I remember playing Grounded 1 on release. It was kind of cool, like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids-esque sort of game, but it didn't look amazing. And now they're making a number 2. And I didn't even realize that this game was, like, number 1 was fully done as a finished game. I thought it was in alpha or beta or whatever.
No,
But it fully announced. I remember at the time when I made that comment, like, oh no, it's been out like 2 or 3 years. So, yeah, cool. If you like that, if you loved Grounded, you're probably going to be, jizzing in your pants at that. But for me, it's not for me.
It's also Obsidian. It's also another one of Obsidian's games. So, I'm afraid that they.
I think it did pretty well. So
it was supposed to be good, the first one.
I'm glad they've been able to do a sequel, but it's not what I care for. I'm not bothered.
No, I'm not probably not gonna play it.
We've kind of already spoke about Gears of War, but I'll be 100% playing that. I loved the campaign of Gears of War. Gears of War for me, it's pretty controversial saying this, but Gears of War 1 arguably is the best Xbox 360 game.
I would say definitely one of the best.
I know people would go, no, what about Halo 3 or Halo Reach?
Well, they were great games.
There.
Reach is up there for sure.
Gears of War was one. It's a new IP. The fucking, I remember the marketing for Gears of War 1, the Mad World, was so good. Like the atmosphere in the whole game, the graphics for the time. It is a very muddy game looking back at it now, but at the time, I only had a CRT TV, so I didn't have HD. Tom had a HD flat panel screen, and it looked incredible. And the multiplayer it's the best multiplayer experience I've ever had in my life. Gears of War. It was competitive. It played really nice. And you didn't need to have a level. You didn't need to have skins. You could just play as separate characters and different characters. But yeah, it was really good. The ranked was brilliant. I met so many friends through that I spoke to for years through Gears of War.
Dude, Gears was one of those games. Like it was kind of like genre defined. Third person cover based shooters. Like it was the first.
There were games before it,
but it set the bar. I love the reloading too.
Oh, the active reloading.
Reloading more fun and give you a bonus to your damage. No, Gears is one of those games. Like when Mario 64 came out on a 64, I remember being a little kid. Just my mind was blown away. I was just like, I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
Yep.
Yeah, Gears was one of those games to me. When they first showed it on 360, I was like, holy crap, like this looks incredible. Like I was just blown away, by the fidelity. Just it was just awesome.
I do think that Gears,
it lived up to it
as a trilogy. Maybe after the trilogy, I like 4 and 5. Don't get me wrong, but they're not in the same boat as or category really as 1 to 3. I'd argue. I think you could definitely argue that Gears 1 to 3 is just as good as Halo 1 to 3.
Yep, I would agree.
So yeah, I think as an Xbox franchise, it's one of its strongest, if not its strongest. It's fallen off in recent years, but every game falls off in the fourth or fifth. It's very rare you get,
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the exception to it
I thought 4
really.
was really good.
Yeah, I liked 5. But the
It was good for
story's just
gameplay
not where it
reasons.
is.
Story-wise,
And
yeah,
I
I
like
wasn't a big
kind
fan
of
of
what
it.
they've done. That they've kept the old characters in, but not had them as
Yeah.
like the whole game is based around them. It's done it better than Resident Evil, I would argue. Like it's introduced new characters, but kept the old characters relevant by having them still in.
They're in your team.
But,
they're offering you advice, like mentor type figures,
so
than they are like the leads. Yeah,
I think they've done a good job with that. Just the story's just lacking, and the characters aren't as likable as the old ones. But they've still done a good job.
What's his son name? It was Adam, right? See, I liked him, and then 5 they.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I liked his son, and they had a good father-son dynamic.
Yep.
Like, hey, Dad, how's it going? They kind of like hated each other. Well, they didn't hate each other, but they had a conflict. I liked that in 4. And when you finally get to Marcus, it's a badass moment. You're like, here you go. And Marcus is like, oh, damn it, kid. Here's Dad. I gotta fix it. Daddy's gotta fix the problem. So that was cool. Like, I liked all of that. But 5 it got off in a weird direction, and I don't mind. Like, it wasn't Kate, whatever. She was okay, but I just didn't like her as a main character. It's got nothing to do with it. It's a girl. It's got nothing to do with it. It's just it became like this weird, like she's connected to the locust.
I think for me, if she wasn't connected to the locust,
like her mom was,
it would have made me maybe relate with her more. But it's like, okay, well, she's definitely going to be the main character now going forward because she is the pivotal point of the whole thing now, even more than Marcus is, and he's been in them all. So yeah, I think that it looks really good. Although from the beta, I think Aiden, I've not spoke to Aiden about it, but I saw he pre-ordered it, and I think he's unpre-ordered it now. Whether he just did that to play the beta or not, I don't know. But from what I've seen, the netcode is not good, and yeah, I mean, for me, the big selling point is not only just playing Gears of War again, co-op with Tom. It'll be to play the online, and just see if it still holds up and we can have as much fun in it. If it's dog shit, the online, then I'll probably Game Pass it and finish it and then not play it again.
They didn't add Horde mode till 2.
No,
right?
It wasn't until 2. But it was just
that
like
to me
the
was incredible. Horde mode was so much fun.
Yeah,
man. Me and my buddy Adam, we played that non-stop.
Horde mode was great. I don't think they should add it to this one. Keep it more true.
Yeah, because it's not right.
If this one does well, this is just another way to get them on Sony. You just bring them all out in this engine or this remade engine or whatever, and do 1, 2, and 3, and put them on. I'm pretty sure. So like PlayStation aren't going to give a shit if they don't get to play Gears Judgment and 4 and 5.
Yeah, no, not
but
really.
I think playing the best 3, and it's a good way as well. Maybe just put this one on Sony and remake the other ones and say to people, well, if you really like it on PlayStation, why not get Game Pass and play it on your PC? Or play it or buy an Xbox. I think that's acceptable, just putting one of them on Sony. That's the way I think if they're going to do Halo, don't do Halo Infinite, do Halo 3 or do Halo 1. And then go, if you want to play the other Halos, come and get Game Pass. Or go and get an Xbox sort of thing. So, yeah, it'd be a bit scummy, but it's there within there, right? They made the game. Fucking, buy an Xbox or buy a PC that runs it. Yeah, so that looks good.
Yep.
Next game.
In terms of before we move on, just quickly, Gears of War E-Day is one.
Yeah,
and I couldn't.
That's another game that they've gone quiet about in it.
They have, and I think they're just working. I think it's going to be cool because the trailer. I'm normally not a guy that gives a crap about cinematic. I can appreciate a good one.
Yeah,
but the E-Day one was awesome, and if that's the vibe they're going for, focus more terrifying because this is E-Day, this is Emergence Day. This is when it's all first finally happening. And when I first hear prequel, it's but if they keep this vibe where I don't know if you saw the trailer, it's and he is waiting for his. It's awesome. It's very.
Sorry.
Oh, here am I here?
Yeah.
Yep, he's like fighting for his life.
Mm.
And it's just awesome. It was just a
Yeah.
great trailer. So if they can kind of keep that intensity, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be Gears. It's gonna be a third-person cover-based shooter. That's what it should be. But if they can have these like really maybe set piece moments, like these really intense, because Gears has those moments, but I want to give. Can improve the melee, have like you can like drop your gun, pick up other guns, and like take the guns from the locust, and like just do kind of unique gameplay changes. I think it could be awesome. Like go for that more intense vibe. So I think they could have something kind of special there with Gear. It may kind of revolutionize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, definitely. I agree.
They'll also have that classic third base cover shooting, but
and I think with
have those great set piece moments.
With Gears, I actually forgot about that game. I think that's what they need to do with Fable now is just fucking shut up about it because it's irritating now. They'll play a game that has
keep teasing it.
Music similar to Fable or as an aesthetic, and you think, oh, it's finally time, Fable 4. And then it's something else. And immediately, it could be amazing. Like, they showed that Clockwork Revolution. That looks really good. But I got Fable vibes on that. And I thought at first, is this Fable? Like, they're in like an industrial sort of era with like kind of Bioshock Infinite vibes. And then they showed the title, and I was like, I'm glad it's not Fable because it looks really good. And that's not how I picture Fable. But I'm kind of, they are hyping everything up behind it. And it's got Cyberpunk wrote all over it. Like, Cyberpunk is in a good place now, but on release, it was everything they didn't promise. So, I think with this, they need to shut up, not mention it. Same with Silk Song, stop name dropping it, and just when it's done, or when you've got something to show us, then mention it. So, although I think they only mentioned it once, I think, I just think it's annoying that they even mentioned it once and then nothing else. They're like, oh yeah, we're still doing Fable, don't worry. It's like, okay, well, we know that. You know what I mean? So,
it's like Peter Mayu. We got Peter Mayu back too. Like, oh god,
fuck me.
It's gonna be the greatest game you've ever played.
He's such a dickhead. I don't
quadruple A.
We're gonna be able to pet all the dogs. He's a dog nonce, not me. Shit. He's obsessed with fucking petting dogs and shit.
That's true.
Next game, Chrono, which I don't know if that's a full name, but I think it's called Chrono something. And that's Blooper Team's new game, which looks very Dead Spacey. Which
it looks very Dead Space.
I'm very hyped for. Sure. And all I've put in my notes is please don't be like Callisto. So yeah, whenever I see anything Dead Space-esque, I panic and think, oh fuck, it's another Callisto. But if they go about it right, and if really Blooper Team did really well with Silent Hill, I think if they do more of that sort of thing with this and kind of just try and emulate what was so good about Dead Space, I think we'll have a good game. I don't think that's a release, but I'm hoping it's this year around October.
It is looking pretty cool.
So that could be cool. Again, I don't want to really look at anything else. I'll just play it. And I think that's a day one Game Pass. So, that looks really good. We just spoke about Clockwork. That looks really cool. I love the whole aesthetics.
So Bioshock kind of meets. It gives me Dishonored vibes too. Like Bioshock,
which
Dishonored.
I don't like
really
Dishonored all that much, but Bioshock Infinite is like my top 5 games, 10 games ever. So if it was amazing. If it's anything like that, then that's a good thing. If you're going to try and replicate a game, then I definitely thumbs up from me. Next couple of games I've never played. So High on Life 2. I thought High on Life 1 was last year, but I think it was the year before.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years ago.
I watched Apollo play that. It looked okay.
It looks good. It looked fun.
It's one of those games where it's just forced, like Ratchet and Clank, Jax. It does humor very good. It's not in your face every 2 seconds. There's a joke.
Right. And you just where it's just like, okay.
Yeah, where it's like, it's not funny. I'm not even laughing anymore. And I feel that with High on Life, at times it got a bit like that. But then I think there's little goofy shit that I think's hilarious in it. Like when you reload the guns and you're like force feeding the fucking magazine into the alien's mouth. That sort of shit. I'll laugh every time at that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play the first one, I think, because I really like the look of it. I've just got 1,000,001 games on my list that I want to play. But that looks cool. If it's anything like the first one looked really cool.
Yeah, I'll keep it on my radar.
If it's
more,
more,
it's on my radar.
Yeah, if it's more open or they add more shit to it, then yeah, I think it's nothing. They can't go wrong with it, really. Then the next game, new Plague Tale game. I've not even put the name of it. But again, I've never played Plague Tale. It looked kind of interesting. It looks like it's got a different sort of like Plague Tale 1 was a bit more. You don't really fight all that much from what I've seen in 1 and 2. It's more distracting enemies or knocking them out and sneaking past. This one looked a bit more combat approach. In fact, I wouldn't have until it said Plague Tale whatever. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it was a Plague Tale game. It just looked like a new IP. So that looks interesting. I'm glad they're sticking with something like that that's kind of unique because there's not really. Yeah, it's but I don't know the name of it, but I will search live right now.
Plague Tale Resonance, or it's a Resonance of Plague Tale.
Yeah, so it's set
story or something like that.
In the
Plague Tale Legacy.
That's it. Yeah. It doesn't have like a release as such. I don't think it's just in development, but they showed some cool stuff off. It looks all right. And I'll probably play the other two in anticipation for that at the time. Next game that they did, also put in at any point, Coops, if you want to talk about any of these. I'm just like going down the list.
Nope, you're good.
Next game is a game I'm kind of interested in because next year we're going to play all of these. And there's only 5, but they're going to take all year. Well, not all year, but like 6 months. It's Persona 4 Remake.
Yeah, Persona 4, yeah.
I don't know anything about Persona. I played 20 hours of Persona 5 and I feel like I barely scratched the surface. But apparently 4 is one of the better ones. And if they're going to remake it and be more like them, like Persona 5 that did really well, then I mean, it can't fail. It's already a really good game. If they're just going to add like quality of life things, voice actor it, polish it, then yeah, I think it can only be good. But it'll probably take about 78,000 streams to beat.
To get through it, yeah. Persona, appreciate them from a distance. I get it. Turn-based RPGs with really cool, like what's the word? Like not like sim, but like you go to
that's the only bit of it that I'm like, ooh, I might struggle.
Sure, and then like you build your relationships with the other party members, so that people love that style of Persona, like that side of it where, and that sounds cool to me. It's just for me, turn-based games, just
Whereas
really
I'm into that shit, like especially with Expedition.
A lot of people are,
I feel that we might see
it's
a few more.
Oh yeah, we're going to now,
and they can't just do like a boring you go, I go. Make it like Expedition and make it where it's more active and you have to keep an eye on it. And make the player more involved than just pressing a button to attack. And I think Expedition proves that you can still do open world, you can still do turn based. You just have to do it this way and make it a bit more interactive for it to be good.
Games like Legend of Dragoon, like I'm surprised they didn't do more like it. It was
same.
Like Expedition 33 was the game to have kind of like, you can have turn-based, but you can also have like unique and cool mechanics mixed in. And Persona does that too, where it like changes up the turn-based and adds unique attacks and ability. It's not just attack, run over, slash, come back, just bring, like they change up the turn-based elements.
I watched Ruthers play Legend of Dragoon. It looked really good. It's on my list.
I loved it. I loved it back in the day. And then it was a great game.
I was watching someone the other night. We raided. He was playing Kudelka. Is it called Kudelka?
Kudelka.
I probably butchered the name, but it's like a turn-based RPG, but it's kind of gothic vibes. It looks really fucking good. So I'd never even heard of the game. But apparently it's on Ruthers' list for him to play in his bingo. So people have clearly heard of it, but it was I've never heard of it in my life till then.
No, I've never heard of it either.
But that looks really good. That looks like it's a bit more to it than just fucking punch something in the face, then he punches you.
Right. They're gonna add some cool mechanics to it.
Yeah. So that looked good. Next one, massive news, Xbox fans, because now you can play Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. Anyway,
yay.
No, I mean,
It's
For
nice.
me,
People will like it. They'll be
yeah,
excited.
it's a beloved series, but I just think the way that they've gone with Final Fantasy VII, even if they announced Final Fantasy VII fucking regrow my dick back, I would not be. I'm not hyped for it anymore.
No.
My life
Rebirth kind of
force
killed that for me.
was sucked out of me so much playing Rebirth that in anticipation for the third one, I can't replay him. I can't replay him again. I can't. Unless I put him on mega easy and we just bulldoze the story. But yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 16, I like that game. I've not played it on hard. Maybe if I replay it again, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. But I think the reason I like that game so much is because we finished it in like 5 days. And I did everything in it, 100%ed it. And we're doing it for charity. We're doing it for Watson's dad. So
Yeah.
I think it was more the vibes that I was enjoying than the game itself.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
But again,
just excited that a new Final Fantasy's out. But yeah, we
Yeah.
can definitely get into that. But yeah, kind of.
It's cool that they're now playable on everything, but they should never be on just one thing anyway. It's Final Fantasy. It didn't even start on Sony. It started on Nintendo. So, yeah. We could talk about that, but that's another podcast. And then the last two reveals. Actually, the next reveal, I might check this out. It's not a game I would suscept myself to ball stepping on and BDSM torture. But Super Meat Boy 3D, it looks really good. From what I saw of it, it looked amazing. And I really like the look of Super Meat Boy. But I do not like games where I fail and fail and fail, and the game rubs it in that I failed so much. So the 3D aspect, though, a bit like I'm going to get fucking cancelled for this, but I'm not into 2D Mario. I can't do it. It's boring to me. But
I'm out of here. God damn it.
As soon as they did Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
And then Odyssey. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really that keen on Galaxy.
I can't go. No.
But the 3D aspect of Mario to me made me fall in love with it. So Sunshine more than 64 because we played Mario 64 to death.
Well, that's just wrong. Sunshine was garbage, but
that's what everyone says. But I really loved Sunshine growing up. I thought it was amazing.
I think Sunshine grew on people.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it. Like, what's this fucking water cannon? What is this dumb shit? I just want to be Mario jumping. What's going on?
It was weird that they added something extra in, but again, I liked it as well. That's my favorite Mario game, Sunshine. But yeah, I understand. I'm in the Final Fantasy brigade here. I know that I'm a rare breed of human that likes Mario Sunshine more than 64. And again,
64. That's blasphemy.
I hate being the guy that's like, oh, the most popular in the series is the best. That's why my favorite Halo is Halo Reach, because
Reach is amazing. Yeah, Reach is great.
For one, he's not Master Chief. Not that makes it any better, but to be able to do a Halo that good without Master Chief is incredible.
True.
And the multiplayer was incredible on it. I had so many hours and hours and hours just in Forge World, fucking about with friends, making stupid maps. We made like a crusher that you had to get through. It was like a little pinball machine that you'd have to get through. But there'd be things spawning and dropping. It was so good. Like, some of the best memories of playing games was on that. But yeah, I have a weird thing where I like the not so loved games in the series the most. And then finally, the biggest reveal of Xbox.
That's right, the biggest and best, baby.
The fucking the roulette wheel of Xbox. They put all their chips into. Every game is going to be on Game Pass.
Yep.
Every game,
trailer.
Even in this series. It starts off. It's got the guy from Heroes. I was like, and me and Lee were watching it. Lee don't fucking like games. Lee's like shit. And Lee was like, oh, he's from Heroes. It set the tone really well. He had 9-inch nails, hand that feeds. I was like, this looks fucking dope. I don't know what it. I thought it was going to be like a Remedy. What was that game they did? Quantum Break. I thought it was going to be like a Quantum Break style of game. I was like, this looks phenomenal. And then they showed a holograph thing. And I was like, that looks like a Call of Duty kill streak. And then, the title reveal, Black Ops 7.
Oh my god! They have like some Inception style stuff too, where like this.
I mean,
around,
and that's why I thought
it looks like
it looked like a kind of. It looked like a Quantum Break kind of thing, which I played Quantum Break maybe last year, I think it was, when we did like loads of games similar to that. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It just felt a bit linear and the story was a bit confusing, but I liked it overall. I definitely wouldn't say it's the worst thing that... I'd say it's one of the better things that Microsoft did during that era of not doing much. But yeah, this to end on Call. I know that's where they fucking spent billions on, and
the money is.
They've got to shove it down.
You got to do something big with it.
But to end with that, I'd have ended with Outer Worlds or something. For me, COD is just dead anyway. The newest COD, we all played it for 2 weeks and then we never played it again. It's rubbish.
Right, that's how I am. But people play it every day. It's just for me. I loved Call of Duty back in the. Am I here?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I loved Call of Duty back in the day. Modern. They were incredible. They were phenomenal. But it's just kind of, I don't know. I've moved on from them. You know, and I played a little bit of Warzone, and the last Call of Duty I got into was Blackout. You know what I mean? It was that mode. See, I really enjoyed that. But...
Everyone says that Blackout was amazing. I tried to play it, but I just couldn't get into it. And I like to be honest, I like Warzone when it first dropped. That's when I met Sleets, really. And he's a fucking god at what he was a god at Warzone. I remember one night, Aiden called me on Discord, and he was like, "Sleets is cheating. I can't believe Sleets is cheating."
He's hacking,
I was like,
wall
mate, he's actually not. Like, just watch him. And then he was saying like, "No, look, he knew where that guy was." And I was like, "Mate, look at the map. He's got UAV. Like, you could see the guy on the map. Like, so." That's how good Sleetsy was. He literally looked like a hacker. Like, he was insane. He would just sit. And the thing is, he'd just sit here with music on. What?
And make it look easy.
Got two. Wiped.
Yeah.
Wiped. Oh, got another one. Oh, just medding up. Oh, got another one. It's like, mate, come on. At least just look like you're trying. Like,
make it look
so good at that game.
Make it look harder. Yeah.
So I really liked watching Sleets. That's the only reason I like... Even if someone mentions Warzone, that's the only good memory I've got of it is Sleets fucking destroying noobs and then people shouting down the microphone as he kills him. Like, it was peak Twitch. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, but I don't care for although I am going to be playing every Call of Duty story. Maybe the story's going to be pretty good, but 2% of the players will play the story, 3% of the players will play the multiplayer, and 95% of the players will just play Warzone and update to the new Warzone 17 or whatever it is.
So it'll just be Warzone, right? Warzone, right? 69.
Yeah. So I think for them to end on that, for me, it doesn't tinge it because I think that Xbox had a good showcase. Other than that, I think that's really for me the only. Like, what's the gif of the guy who looks like really awkward, like cringing? That was my reaction to it.
And it's not just us, man, because I was in the live chat and everyone was doing the same thing. They were showing the trailer.
Yep.
What's this? Really cool. I'm loving the vibes. Like, wow, this is unique and twisted. What could this be? Like, holy shit. And then immediately everyone just starts to laugh. Like, are you kidding me?
Dude.
President Sleeper. Just everyone just completely just turned on it. So it will make them tons of millions.
Yeah,
we'll play it.
I don't know if it's got the money though anymore. Because who buys it? I don't know anyone that bought it because it's on Game Pass. It's one of them things that will fuck them in the ass because if they're making it day one release, then that means everyone that bought Call of Duty on release every year doesn't have to do that now because you don't go back to Call of Duty. No, as good as Modern Warfare 2 was back in the day. No one is booting that game up now and playing it still. So there is no need to keep it. Most people don't collect games like this and have them all behind them.
Yeah.
They trade them in and get the next one. So I think in the long run, and this we could talk about this another day, but I think the deal with Activision is just a terrible decision anyway, because unless they're going to make it exclusive, I don't understand the point of it because it doesn't change anything. Although it just means that when they sell on PlayStation, they get a cut of it. I suppose it's that. But does it sell anymore? It sells on PlayStation and PC, but maybe not even on PC because it's on Game Pass.
Right. There's going to be people that don't have the PCs or the Xbox, so they just got They have a
that have
PS5.
to, yeah.
They're probably
So
They're probably out there. More of them out there than I think. I think like
yeah,
about
I do think it
that
sells
can run it.
pretty well, but
No,
yeah, for me, I don't. I've got no hype over it, and it was
no,
yeah
neither do I.
a bad thing to end on that. But the trailer looked good. The game will not
Yeah,
be good.
trailer does look
The game
good.
will just be Call of Duty. But
Yeah, it'll be Call of
yeah,
Duty 6-7 hour long campaign. But if they go ahead, no, I'm down for that. Do
yeah,
something different. You know what I mean? Like bring zombies into the campaign. Make it horror. Just go crazy. Like just
yeah.
make it dumb.
The,
Like make it.
my only worry as
You know.
well is when they go in the future. Remember, we went that era of COD that was like Advanced Warfare, Infinite
See,
Warfare,
I
and you
played
do
those a
the.
little bit. And I've had fun with them, but
It's like
I was the more.
they saw what Titanfall did and went, "We're gonna do that. We're gonna have wall running. We're gonna have fucking like fucking
Yeah,
the like quick
yeah,
moving the
dashing.
exosuits."
Yeah,
So I don't like. I'm turned off immediately from anything like that. I'm much more of like a if they were to do Call of Duty, just do like modern warfare, not like modern warfare, but like up to date, like modern, like now. If someone went to war, what they would use,
sure.
or do World War II or Vietnam. Why have we not really ever gone back to Vietnam, like, and do a
They've
lot of
done it
that?
in Black
They
Ops.
did
They've
bits
done
of
it
it in
in
Black
Black
Ops,
Ops
didn't
and
they? But
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like I'd like to see more of that. And I think that's where Battlefield should go. If Battlefield ever do another one, which it's looking like they are, maybe experiment. Maybe not World War II. That didn't work out too well. But maybe do because Battlefield Vietnam on the PC back in the day was so good. And
Yeah, it was.
they
Yeah.
revisited it in Bad Company too. I think there was a DLC that was like a few maps from Vietnam and guns, and that was great. But it was just a DLC. I'd like to see like a full, yeah. But yeah, that's everything I had in my notes. We have a lot more to talk about for future ones. I was
Oh,
thinking,
yeah.
maybe not for this one, but for next one, I will set up an email address of some sort so that if people want us to maybe ask questions, well, what was your opinion on this? It could even be not something gaming related. It might be movie related, like
Yeah.
28 years
Oh, yeah.
later.
Anything.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to talk about
I
that
gotta
just
see that
yet
yet.
because it's just come out. If I spoil it and just say, like, you know, Clinton, what's his name? This didn't happen, by the way, but the guy that's in fucking Peaky Blinders, yeah, he comes in at the end and kills everything and saves the day.
Yeah, Killian Murphy.
Yeah, Killian Murphy, that's it.
He's in
If I
he's
come in
it
and say that
100%.
and say what my
Yeah.
thoughts are before anyone's seen it, then it's pointless. So I'd rather wait a week or two. People would say jump on the hype now, but yeah. Live reaction, yeah, I think what I would like to do, I'm going to work on it more with the overlay, is that when I pull up, like, gameplay, it moves the cams up automatically, and maybe you can hear it. The only problem is Coops wouldn't be able to hear it the way we do it at the minute.
I got my own videos too.
In
So
the earlier ones, yeah, true.
I see what you're saying. Like, yeah.
In the earlier ones where I had prepared videos, I was also my cam keeps turning off. I don't know why it does that. I had prepared some videos, but I just don't have, like, for the later ones we were chopping and changing between video games that much that I didn't really want to have a billion tabs open. I just wanted to make sure everything was going as fine as it is. But also, I think at the end it would be good to get like a poll to see, like, I think for next one to see maybe give people a choice of what we maybe do the next one about. So maybe join
Hell yeah.
or on this game or on this, you know, do an episode on whatever. So I think just interaction, I think, is a good thing, isn't it? Like,
and you can another thing, and we didn't have time to get into this too, but the thing we're going to talk about, dumb streamer slop drama. That's funny. If you guys find a story that's just you think is funny and dumb, email. Like, you can email us, and in that, of course, chat too, for sure. Email us and so we're not just completely like, you know, like, I don't know what's going on with that. So you can form a better opinion on something. Yeah,
so I think for sure I'm going to try and set an email up. I just need to set that up and do that.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Although it's a bit, you know, email's a modern thing, but not everyone does email anymore. You know what I mean?
True, no, it's that. So, it is. I forget to check mine.
We could do an email / Discord, and I could make a room on Discord.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea too.
But then I would like to have it, because obviously if someone goes, oh, we could even do like Agony Aunt, and someone's going through something that they want a bit of advice on. Not saying that we can give that sort of advice, but that might be nice. but I'd like to keep it anonymous. Obviously, if you email me, I'm not going to go, oh, well, Butters said that he's having trouble getting it up. And what I find helps is
I know,
this.
poor
So
Butters.
I would say, if
Butters.
you
Sorry
say,
about
oh,
that,
can you
man.
not share who this is from? I
Try,
would be 100%.
try spitting on it.
Yeah,
Try
get a spit on it.
Butters.
Hawk tour on that thing. But yeah, it is a evolving thing. It's a thing that we're trying. It will only get better in time. I think from episode 1 to now, the changing quality in general is way better. I think it looks way better than the last episode.
As you.
As
you, if you're happy with mediocre, then
yeah, true. But anything, and it's daft for me to think that it's perfect.
No, we're always going to be.
I think I'd rather people go, oh, this was bad. Oh, this was bad.
Hit us.
Because that's the only way.
Comments on the video.
Yeah. So video or it's on Spotify. I figured out how to do it on Spotify. Leave a comment on Spotify if you've listened this long, and you might win something called the
5 stars.
Face.
5 stars. You can call us whatever you want. Call us, we're losers, piece of shit, whatever. That's fine. But or put in, like I said, or you can have critiques. Yeah, absolutely. So critiques, baby.
Yeah. So we're not gonna get. I'm not the type. If someone came in and said, "Fluff, the gameplay is way louder than you. We can't hear you," some people would get insulted by that. But me, I'm like, thank you, because it's unwatchable. So yeah, please say if Tom or Fluff, we can't hear Coops. You're way loud. Your audio is way louder. Then I can bump his volume up or whatever. So, thank you again, Mr. Coops.
Awesome, man. This was great.
I think next time, next weekend is a no-go because I'm seeing Lee's dad. Maybe Sunday night, but I'm away next weekend, so it depends what time I get home. But we could do midweek, like the week
just let me know.
We'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah,
I think
hell yeah.
Next time we're going to talk about the Switch. Because I'll have had a hands-on at least by then.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome.
There'll be more than one game for it. I think I think Donkey Kong comes out in the next few weeks. And maybe we speak about 28 years later if Coops has been to see it by then.
I'm hoping to by then. I'm hoping to see it with Otis next week.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to get together and go see it. So we'll definitely have our thoughts and impressions on that for sure.
Because I would like to talk with people about it. I know Keanu's been to see it, so maybe we bring a couple of other people on as well.
Yeah, hell yeah, bring Keanu on for sure.
Also, that's why I want to set up like a room for Discord. I'd like it so that you could put a question in, but only I can see it. I don't know if you can do that on Discord, but it'd be nice if people wanted to come on. Like I would throw an invite out to everyone, but it's like some people might not want to be,
Yeah, for
put
sure.
it out there.
They're not going to take it offended. You don't want to come in. Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah,
I get it. We get it.
So yeah, we'll. I think for that, if we talk about other things, I'd like to get other people's opinions on it.
Sure.
Whether we do that by bringing people on or whatever. But yeah, let us know. Thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Yeah, for listening, watching. Yeah, that's greatly appreciated. But the following, the liking and crap is greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Leaving comments are awesome. Thank you so much. Again, I don't care. Don't spend a dime on us. It's not about money, but it's more or less just trying to spread. It's just trying to get out there and spread. That's it. Yeah, we need that fat paycheck, boys.
No,
doing it all for the money.
What I like to see, even more than views, is just interaction. For me, it's not about like with TikTok. Sure. When I put TikTok up, if it gets 300 views but it has 10 likes and 5 comments, I'm like, that's amazing. It's like, whereas I've had TikToks that have got like 2,000 views that have got 4 likes, and it's like, that's great that 2,000 people saw it, but 2,000 people didn't. Only 4 people liked it out of that. Whereas 300 people saw this and 20 people liked it. That's way better.
It spreads you around for the algorithm that we're all slaves to. Yeah, I mean, it just spreads us around a little bit.
So thank you everyone who has watched live. Thank you everyone if you have got this far in the video and liked it. Leave a like and a subscribe. If you're on Spotify, I don't know how it works on there, but leave a like. You can comment on there, and you can also do a poll. Maybe I'll poll something. Also, I've got as well. Just one more thing before we end. When we have a guest on, I've got a set of questions that we're gonna ask every guest. So it's like a kind of an icebreaker, because I stream every fucking day pretty much. I don't get anxious at all. Some other people might, and especially if it's 2 people they never spoke to, they might be like, oh god. So if we just ask them like, what's your favorite sex position? You know, or not maybe not something like
Right.
that. But there's an
Nothing too
example
personal.
like what's your favorite Greg's order, or you know what I mean. I think that just helps break the ice, let's settle in, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's cool. That's a great idea.
yeah. What's your favorite breed of dog? What's the most shaggable breed of dog
Right.
in your opinion?
Yeah, really.
And on that bombshell, thank you boys for watching. I really
Yeah, it was
appreciate it.
awesome. Thanks for hell yeah.
Thank you, Coops, for being here again, for being a part
Anytime,
of it.
man.
And yeah, we will catch you on the next one. I don't have an outro. We don't
Bye.
have an outro, but goodbye.
Love you guys. Bye. Bye.
Bye. There we go.